The new Modus Super Series champion. Oh my word!
It's another incredible moment tonight.
Jeff Smith!
It's match down.
5-star performance.
Call for big fish.
It's
Jeff Drayton!
Tops.
Game
Magical
shot at the
for
third leg.
Crocodile Dundee. Double 10.
Game
Gets
shot.
the job done.
It's Tops for Duff, and Tops is
And the
found the
match.
56 checkout.
With some kind of blessing. Double 16 for
Game
106
shot.
finishes. Another
And the
top
match.
topper for Crocodile Dundee. Double 8.
Game shot.
That is a hat
And the
trick of
match.
wins for Hogan. Double 17. This would be some way to get the account going for the night to
Game
161.
shot in the second
And that
leg.
might well be
Carl
the spark for the swords. It's Friday night under the lights here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. Group B comes to its culmination, and you're very welcome to the action. You're joining us live here on Pluto TV. Hello, very good evening. I'm in the company of Laura Turner on this Friday night to see how this Group B is going to come to a close. Now, overnight, it was Paul Hogan that leads the way. He's picked up a full complement of 8 points. We've got two players just in behind in Simon Stevenson and Neil Duff. And so work to do tonight for Carl Wilkinson and Benito van der Pas, which is one win on Thursday.
Yeah, plenty of work to do, but the important thing is they still did pick up that one win apiece, and that just keeps them in the running, keeps them interested, plenty to play for. And the way that the fixtures are panning out early on, I think we could see some quick changes and a bit of movement.
Well, this afternoon we saw the culmination of Group C, and it saw Rhys Colley win 9 out of 10. It was a comprehensive display from him, and he just carried on in a similar vein to yesterday, didn't he?
He did indeed. That 158 checkout, just one highlight from many. It was great to see him play as well as he had been. Little wobble in the middle from him, just had the one loss, but ultimately 9 wins out of 10, and it was a very good Group C campaign.
So Steve West, the winner of Group A, that was a Wednesday afternoon. Joining Rhys Colley into tomorrow night is Kevin Edwards. Group B this evening, Carl Wilkinson, Paul Hogan and Simon Stevenson with Benito van der Pas and Neil Duff. And in terms of Paul Hogan last night, he won the full complement of games, 4 wins out of 4. We can confirm that with the league table there. Duff and Stevenson on 4, Wilkinson and van der Pas on 2. But in terms of Crocodile Dundee, got away with one a little bit against Benito in the opener, but once he clicked, there was vintage signs from him.
Yeah, very good indeed. Even though there were a couple of mistakes, his scoring just kind of counteracted that, and his finishing at times was on point as well. So yeah, a bit of everything from Paul Hogan, but the important thing, he's picked up those 4 wins. He's in a fantastic position going into today, and just really needs to focus again on doing something very similar. I don't know if I saw anyone going through the card at any point, but he's done it.
Well, he's the favourite in the betting. That's no surprise. His odds on at 2 to 5 to go on and win the group. And when you look at what the bookies think, they don't think the top 3 is going to change.
No, and I do get it, but you know, there's 2 points. There's one game. They've got to play against each other, so it could turn around. Everyone that lost yesterday could win today, so who knows? But interesting to see Paul Hogan, no surprise, but he was a 10-1 outsider yesterday.
Well, the outsider to the favourite, and it is 18+, gambleaware.org if you're going to have a flutter on the Super Series tonight. And we're going to see Neil Duff in action in our opening match this evening. He takes on Simon Stevenson, and earlier on I caught up with the Duff man. Neil, 4 points overnight. What would be your overall assessment of the way things went?
Kind of walked away last night thinking they should have been 6. Let a few games go. I think the last game I let go. Paul beat me fair and square. Can't take anything away from him. But I wanted to get more out of the last match of the night. Just to take the pressure off tonight. But I'll go into tonight like I did last night and just go out and win as many games as I can and just secure Saturday night.
Would it be fair to say it was a little bit patchy in places last night?
It's been a little bit patchy all week. So Monday was Monday. I wasn't never going to do much. But even Wednesday, when I was banging 90+ averages, there were still little moments there where just the arm gets snatchy, and it's something I have to work on. But Yeah, I'm up for it though.
In terms of tonight, what's the task got to be to get through?
2 wins. Well, I'm setting myself 2 wins, but I'm up 4. I don't want Paul to do the card again. I don't like anyone doing the card unless it's me. So that's the goal, go out and get it secured as quickly as possible.
And look, you know what I'm going to ask, because Steve West in the same week as you. You and him, that rivalry continues, and he's already through. I'm sure you want to go and take another one off him.
Yeah, I have thought about it. It'd be interesting Saturday night if it was a West Duff final. A lot at stake there. But yeah, Steve's playing well, and he's for Broadmoor on Saturday, so I hope he burns himself out and comes down in here tubed, and I pick up number 7.
Right, wish you well. Go well tonight, Neil.
Cheers, buddy. Thank you.
I get the sense that Neil Duff's a little bit confident coming into tonight. Well, he takes on Simon Stevenson. Big game for the pair to open up the evening's proceedings. For the Duff man, 2 wins, 4 points from his Thursday efforts. And as he said in that interview there, felt as if points were left out there. Points were left on the board yesterday evening. In terms of Simon Stevenson's night last night, well, he won this game with a very good performance. 98.82 average, 4 from 8 in terms of his doubling. It was a 4-2 success for the Plymouth man. As for Neil Duff, the Northern Ireland captain at the international pairs here, but based in Winterthur in Switzerland, up against Simon Stevenson, the 54-year-old from Plymouth, very much enjoying his darts again. A man who's plied his trade for a number of years on the Pro Tour. And now coming back into life, really, at this level. Came back with a instant impact, winning on debut here at the Super Series. Looking to back that up in Series 14. Nick Kroll's in charge of the action once again on this Friday night. He will be overlooking proceedings. It's going to be Neil Duff to get us underway. And when you look at where this fixture's placed in the evening, Laura Turner alongside me here in commentary, the winner of this can move themselves onto 6 points and put themselves in a position where they can go 4 clear of Carl Wilkinson and Benito van der Pas, who play next.
60.
Yeah, 4 clear of them, but only 1 win behind our table topper and Paul Hogan. So, as I mentioned at the top of the show, I think these early matches could see some significant changes
41.
in terms of how the table starts to take shape. As you say, these two locked on 4 points, but the next match you've got Wilkinson against Van der Pas, and they are also locked when it comes to points.
60.
So, interesting first few matches coming our way.
Well, in fact, both players are tied on everything. 2 points, minus 4 legs difference, and 9 legs won.
60.
Now, you look at Simon Stevenson's fixtures for the night. He plays game 1 and game 3, playing Neil Duff here, and then he's got Paul Hogan in match number 3
100
of the session. So, if things go well, it could be rather fruitful for him. However, if he doesn't win any of those games, he plays the last 2 matches against Carl Wilkinson and Benito van der Pas, who may well smell blood.
Yeah, it is always interesting to take a look at where the games fall, because unlike Group
95.
A and Group C, there are only 5 players in this group, and it just means less matches, less time in the back room, and shorter turnarounds.
140.
Well, it took him a couple of hits to get going, but Stevenson of a 180 followed by 140. He's put himself in a decent position here to get an opening leg break. Have a look across to the 18.
62.
Picks off the treble
Simon,
the last,
you require
but
80.
Stevenson should get a dart at top, to the very least a break throw. He's going to get the booty bonus to a double 10. 2 5s for a 5 visit start and a break and throw to kick things off for the Mirror Man.
Second leg, it's Simon to throw first.
Yeah, it was
Game
interesting to hear Neil Duff, who you mentioned sounding confident, and why wouldn't he? He is the player that has won the most titles in this building, but it's interesting to say he was comprehensively beaten by Paul Hogan, 4 legs to 1, but when he references the fact that he thinks he's left points out there, it must have been in this match where he did play well, but Stevenson,
180.
almost a 99 average in that particular match. So I think that just gives you an indication of the levels that Neil Duff feels like he should be producing.
Well,
140.
players have had to play good stuff to get the better of him. As you mentioned, the 98 average from Stevenson in that game yesterday. Paul Hogan averaged just under 97, was 4 from 5 in his doubles and took out a 157 checkout en route to a 4-1 victory. So it's 2 defeats. It wasn't as if Neil Duff did much wrong in those games. It was just opponents are raising their level. But I suppose by now he's probably come to expect of that when he plays here because of what
60.
he's done previously in this tournament.
Yeah, every time Neil comes here, he expects to be playing on Saturday night. And you heard he had a bit of a game plan.
43.
The focus is getting at least 2 wins. He wants to go through the card, as everyone would do, if possible, but it won't be easy. Although
81.
saying that, Paul Hogan made it look quite straightforward last night.
However, no 2 nights are the same, and he said off-air to me before the interview at the end of yesterday's play that he's been in a position before where he's picked up 8 points on the first night's worth of play and then lost the following 4 and then had to struggle its way through. We'll be hoping that that doesn't happen again. That's going to get an opportunity to break
80.
back.
Neil, you require 82.
17 for tops.
Game shot
Cleanly
on the second
taken.
leg. Neil Duff.
The break straight back for Neil Duff.
Decent start to the night. 2 15 darters, 1 apiece.
Third leg, it's Neil to throw first. Game on.
We'll take that for a standard if that's what we're going to be delivered on this Friday night.
60.
These two participated at the recent Champions Week.
100.
Players making it through to the Champions Night. For Neil Duff, it was another semi-final defeat for him at the hands of
100.
Steve Green. For Simon, this never quite happened in the end. Now, they did meet in Group B at that particular Champions
60.
Week. Simon Stevenson won both the meetings, 4-3 on night 1, 4-1 on night 2. In fact, Neil Duff has never beaten the Mirror Man in this building.
And
140.
I get the feeling that Neil Duff is the type of player that will know that. He will know that he might have a bogey player in Simon Stevenson and he won't want that streak to continue.
100.
He's not an analytical player, is Neil Duff, but he's somebody that will know everything about everyone he's ever played. And he is one of those players. If he has an opponent, he has somebody that's in his week. He wants to make sure he gets the one-up wherever possible. Doesn't want anybody to draw any kind of confidence when they play him.
140.
When you talk about one-up, well, Neil
Nearly
Duff looking to go
62.
2-1-up. Double 16.
Game shot on the third leg. Neil
15
Duff.
dart. Hold a throw for Neil Duff. It's a slow start for Duff, man.
Fourth leg, it's Simon
Lost
to
that
throw
opening
first.
leg against the
Game
darts,
on.
but it's reeled off the last couple.
Well, people ask what is Pro Tour standard. Well, what we're seeing so far is exactly that. Winning legs
60.
in 5 visits. Averages in the 90s, 91.93 for Duff, 94.8 for Simon Stevenson. Yes, we see the ridiculous stuff from the players at the top end, but this would be the type of match.
80.
If you looked at players outside the top 32, say, for example, you would probably see on a regular basis at your Wiggins, your Leicesters and your Hildesheims.
And Neil Duff in that previous throw had a bounce out and looked absolutely disgusted at the fact that it had come out the board.
85. Or 121.
Ping!
Maybe that's another string to add to your bow.
140.
Darting sound effects.
I could charge good money for that. Well, this.
140.
Simon Stevenson, a very good riposte to the back-to-back 15 darters of Duff. Tops left after 12 for what could well be the 4th consecutive 5-visit leg in this contest. And to
Simon, you require
square us back
40.
up at 2 apiece. And it would mean they were absolutely none the wiser in this
Game
contest.
short and the
Well, that's the
fourth leg.
best leg we've seen so
Simon
far.
Stevenson.
13 data. And we're back on terms at 2-2.
5th leg, it's Neil
Yeah,
to
that
throw
leg
first.
from Stevenson.
Game on.
Propelling his average just north of 101.5.
125.
We have to say, we look over the matches from last night, and for the most, it was a really competitive evening for all the players involved.
100.
And I do wonder, because everyone is in contention, because there is no one that, barring Paul Hogan, that's really stretched away from the rest of the field, does that give everyone the
100.
extra motivation to focus tonight?
Well, we said it before Dart was thrown yesterday. We expected good things from this group, and we only had 1 ton plus average last night. I think maybe we
83.
expected a few of them, but the overall standard, the amount of averages that had a 9 at the beginning of them, kind of told you the overall standard of play from all 5 players
60.
last night. I know Wilkie and Benito only picked up 1 win apiece, but they more than played their part at times. And as you can see on the scoring power pack there, absolutely no separation of these two.
140.
Stevenson creating a slight bit of separation now, courtesy of the 140.
100.
And there are just some games here at the Modus Super Series
94.
that you
Nearly
just
require
feel that
116.
a best of 7's not enough, and this has got the makings of being one of them.
Feels like the type of match that should be played over 7 sets, not 7 legs.
Yeah, we saw the scoring power
92.
pack little to separate them.
Simon, you require
But
84.
locked at 2 apiece, not much in the averages, identical finishing stats.
Double 12.
Game short. And the
3-2
leg.
Stevenson,
Simon
another 15
Stevenson.
dart. Now, we mentioned in Group C, didn't we, this afternoon when Reece Colley played Kevin Edwards
6th
right
leg,
at the
it's
start.
Simon
We said
to throw
that
first. Game on.
because of the situation and 2 players playing each other at the top end of the table, they kind of got to be at it at the B of the bang. Now, there's a very similar situation here where both of these two know if
60.
they win this game, they put themselves in a good position. If they lose it, then they get reeled back into the quagmire around 3rd, 4th, 5th position.
60.
Yeah, every player will know that they are not completely safe. Paul Hogan has just got that luxury, that buffer of 4 points. As it stands, it will be reduced after this, no matter who wins.
140.
Well, this really is a cracker of a contest.
100.
Going in this vein, Laura, we could be on a roll tonight.
$81.
Well, Stevenson really has started this evening. He's gone off like a rocket.
$120.
There are moments where I feel like Neil Duff just takes it so personally when something does not quite go to plan.
The irony is because it was so accurate, it came off the barrel and straight out again. It was a dart on dart out, as Scott Mitchell would say.
140.
And the problem is Stevenson is punishing to the hilt. He's left himself on 80 to get things wrapped up. All Neil can do is hit a 2 treble turn and try and apply as much pressure as possible.
100.
Hits a ton,
Simon, you require
but this
80.
to get the job done and to put the cap on a really good display. Average just under the 102 mark for Simon Stevenson, and he has an opportunity here to win the game on double top.
Game,
and one
shot,
opportunity
and the
is
match.
all he
Simon
needs. A
Stevenson.
game in which every single leg was won in 5 visits. And it was a game that was won by Simon Stevenson with an average of 101.12. He moves on to 6 points. Neil Duff beaten for the 3rd time in this group, but every single time he has been beaten in this Group B, it has been as a consequence of a really good performance. Simon Stevenson off the mark, a 4-2 winner against Neil Duff.
Well, from a match which saw second and third on the table contested, which was won by Simon Stevenson over Neil Duff 4-2, we head to the foot of the table. Carl Wilkinson and Benito van der Pas, both locked in pretty much every metric you can imagine. Well, they won't be after this match. Carl Wilkinson, the 41-year-old from Barnsley, a previous weekly winner here at the Live Lounge, taking on Benito van der Pas. Still only 33 years of age. He's making his second appearance, but it has been a 3-year gap since we've seen him last here at the Live Lounge, and he too has ambitions of making it through to Saturday night. Safe to say, Henry, we've seen some really good things from Benito throughout the week, and the win that he picked up yesterday was a real solid performance. But understandably, with the break, there's been ups and downs. But for Carl Wilkinson, he kind of had to rescue his night. Got that win in his last match, but it was very slow to get off the mark. He cannot afford to do that again.
Absolutely not. And when we say slow start to the evening, he averaged 70 in a 4-0 defeat to Neil Duff. Now, he played 2 of the first 3 yesterday, which means that he's going to be playing a lot of his darts towards the tail end of tonight. But as far as Benito van der Pas is concerned, there's one word that categorises this week for him: process. This is all part of this process of coming back. Now, he has said that Q-Score is something on the radar come the beginning of 2027. Doesn't know how that will go, but he wants to get his game into a place where he can go there and be competitive. He feels like he would go under the radar should he appear in Calcutta.
99.
But the key is he's enjoying darts again. And there was a point towards the end of his professional career when he was dropping off the tour where it was becoming a bit of a chore for
60.
him. Going to Barnsley, going to Wigan, going to MK, knowing that more often than not, you're coming away with no money, because if you don't win in the first round of those events, you're walking away empty-handed. And there's a lot of expenses that go to those tournaments. He was a full-time pro back then. Now he's got a full-time job, very much enjoying what he does 9 to 5. So darts is something completely different for him
45. Now. Benito, you require 167.
I cannot say how important it is that if you start falling out of love with the sport, then it is a real grind. So if he can get back to a place where 95. It becomes enjoyable, then all the better. Because Benito van der Pas, he is a player that has reached the top 16 of the world rankings in the PDC.
41.
And you don't do that
Benito,
easily.
You require 72.
They don't hand that out like confetti at a Greek wedding, put it that way. Double 12. Double 6.
60.
Not there, but he has got time on his side. And just like yesterday, Wilkie's got off to a sluggish start.
100. Benito, you require 12.
Right on the wire. There's an argument. It's almost too close, that first dart.
6. Carl, you require 110.
Triple 18. Would have left the requisite double, and so Van der Pas finds himself
58.
down in the trap door.
Benito, you require 6.
The other end of the board.
4.
But the same outcome for
Carl,
Van der Pas, who
52.
really was in control of this leg.
Game
but
short in the first leg. Carl Wilkinson
has managed to hold his throat.
7 darts missed from Benito van der Pas to win that opening leg. There's a hold of throw for Carl Wilkinson, but it'll very much feel like a break. But let's go back to Benito and kind of going back to the mentality from when you are a part-time player turning into a professional player. Psychologically, that changes overnight. When you made that decision that your sole basis of income is through this sport.
100.
When you're playing it part-time, you can, even though it might take up a lot of your time, you can still see it as a hobby because you've got other ways of earning money. But when this is the sole earner for you, that mentality shifts rather quickly. And some players, they struggle to adapt to that.
Yeah, I have noticed, and I've mentioned it over the years, the likes of, say, Johnny Clayton, who really was reluctant to move away from his full-time job, despite being in the top 8 of the world. Glenn Durrant, another 93. One that took him some time to finally make that decision. And yes, I think there is so much additional pressure on players when You go from having a guaranteed
85.
wage, everything's kind of safe and happy, to then your money being very much performance related. And especially at the moment where everyone,
56.
you know, the competition is now so high, it's so fierce.
But you look at the Pro Tour Order of Merit, for example, and you look at a lot of players who
100.
earnings
Benito,
this
you
year
require
are
160.
less than £10,000. And if you're having a poor week in, say for
50.
example, a UK-based player in Hillsong, we'll come back to this point in just a
Carl, you
second,
require
because
116.
Wilkinson here is looking at 116 to get the break and double his lead to 2-0. He's unable to find. Van der Paas looking
60.
at 110 to level the scores.
Benito, you require 110.
Good start to the combination. Double 18.
74.
But it's another miss on the outer ring for Van der Paas.
Carl, you require
8
56.
attempts, none converted. Wilkinson's finishing was clinical in leg 1.
Game
And he's
shot.
pretty
in
good
the
in leg
second
2 as well.
Carl Wilkinson.
He's being outscored, but he's taking opportunities when they come. Wilkinson 2-0 to the good, but you look
Third
at
leg,
players,
it's Carl
go
to
back
throw
to that point
first.
about earnings
Game
and that.
on.
Say, for example, you're someone like Oskar Lukasiak, who has to travel to and from Sweden, the expenses that come with that. He's earned just under £7,000 in 4 months, give or take,
85.
worth of play. Take out what he's going to have to spend to get to places and the expenses when you are going to those places. The return is rather minimal.
60.
Yeah, it's a real commitment for players. I think players that come, especially from the UK, you know, we are very
40.
lucky that it's still, I mean, darts as a whole is still very Eurocentric, but ultimately it is a lot of the Pro Tours. They're based, as you've mentioned previously, you go to Milton Keynes, we go to
58.
Leicester, we go to Wigan. They're the 3 main hubs in the UK we use. Yes, every so often there will be one out in Hildesheim as well, but you mentioned Sweden, but you think about the players, say,
99.
from Australia and North America that have picked up tour cards and the dedication it's taken for them. I remember kind of looking at updates on a regular basis with Jeff Smith,
100.
who for some reason his luggage would just never arrive when he came to the UK.
I remember speaking to Adam Leake
60.
after he got his tour card. Now, he just went there for the experience. He thought there was no way he was going to be playing on the tour in 2026. Won it on day 1, and then he's thinking,
96.
what do I do? I live in Adelaide. And so he had to find somewhere in the UK to base himself for a couple of years. Then you got things like visas to look at and think about. When you're at the top end of the sport,
100.
it's a great thing to have. It's a great lifestyle, but there's also complications that come with it.
Yeah, I guess the list, we could go on and on. The one that
42.
you mentioned visas that
Carl, you
springs to
require
mind straight away was Christian
117.
Perez when he got his tour card. Took him almost a year to sort that out.
Top to Wilkie.
77.
117 doesn't go as Van der
Benito,
Paas
you require 145.
got a trick up his sleeve here with a 145. Not on this occasion. And so this is a 3-0 Wilkinson.
105. Carl, you require 40.
Van der Paas there to pounce if this tops doesn't go for Wilkinson.
Game
But the
shot in
finishing
third leg. Carl
has been
Wilkinson.
good from Wilkie, the England captain. Scoring, though, that's been slightly a miss, but
Fourth leg
it's
is Benito
mistakes
to
from
throw
Van der Paas that have
first.
allowed him
Game
in.
on.
And I suppose it has to be worth asking. We spoke about the likes of Joe Hayward et al. This afternoon about playing
98.
5 days when you're not used to those kind of reps. Now, Benito would have in the past, but recently he probably hasn't played as much darts as he has done this
58.
week. Just wonder what kind of effect that could have going into his 5 days worth of play here in Portsmouth.
85.
Yeah, there is an argument to say that some of the players coming in on Thursday, they are able to be,
123.
you know, they maintain a bit of a slightly fresher.
One 100. 85.
Well, gradually as we've gone on, this game has started to improve.
Yeah, it felt rather edgy at
58.
the start. I suppose it was mainly because both players knew the consequence of defeat may be more than the price of victory in this game.
100.
Real
Benito, you
lunge with the
require
last start from
160.
Wilkinson.
Another. Unable to find, and so Wilkinson has an opportunity
100.
here
Carl,
to
you
wrap
require
this game up to nil
135.
if he can find the 135.
Tops for the 135.
95.
The combination finish not going to go, and this is a chance for Benito,
Benito, you
van der
require
Pas. Chalk
60.
up a leg on the board. And it's an early slip, so one dart at
Game
tops, but
shot
one
on
dart
the
was
fourth
all that was
leg.
needed in the
Benito
end for van der Pas.
Well, there was a little bit of an irony, the fact that when he missed the single 20 into
Fifth
the
leg
one,
is
that when he
Carl to
hit the
throw
single number, he had a clear passage
Game
at tops where, as he celebrates winning a leg, if he'd hit the single 21st dart, he would have had a blocker just because of the way his darts go into the board.
140.
Yeah, every cloud, and ultimately if it pays off in the end, then you can write that leg off. But I think that kind of mock celebration
55.
from van der Pas at the end, that just goes back to that first leg, kind of set the tone for van der Pas. He had 7 darts to break Wilkinson in the opening leg.
100.
And Wilkie using his experience to pounce and then seize the initiative in this contest. But has to be careful because if he's broken here, it's back to 3-2. And all of a sudden,
97.
Benito would have the ascendancy in this game. Would have the darts to take us all the way to a last leg decide. And how many times have we seen a 3-0 lead in this format very quickly get whittled away?
100.
Yeah, it's 3-0, but ultimately it's just one break of throw. And that's how, as a player, that you do have to look at it.
140. Carl, you require 161.
So 161 and 6 darts from here to get it wrapped up 4-1. He took this out yesterday, but he's not going to go for it here because his opponent isn't on a finish. 81 remaining. And he's going to leave himself for double 12 after
137.
12. His best leg of the match could well be the one that wraps up victory.
93. Carl, you require 24.
Well, van der Pas waiting on a finish if this 24 is not found by Wilkinson.
Game.
But he
shot.
does find it.
And the
Third
match.
dart in
Carl
hand. It's a
Wilkinson.
4-1 win for the England captain. Disappointment there for Benito van der Pas, who started off scoring really strongly in the opening leg, but couldn't convert, couldn't find the double. And you can see that from the checkout percentages. That was the key difference between the two in the match. Well, coming up next, we'll see our table topper, Paul Hogan, in action against Stevenson.
Welcome back to the Modus Super Series. Before the break, we saw Carl Wilkinson get the better of Benito van der Pas by 4 legs to 1 to double his points tally and to move on to 4 points in the group. Simon Stevenson takes on Paul Hogan in Game 3. Any win for Hoagie tonight will see him qualify for tomorrow night's finals. Because every player's got points, 10 will be enough for any player to progress through. Simon Stevenson could put himself level on points with Paul Hogan. In matter of fact, if he can win this game by 4 legs to 0, he would actually go above Paul Hogan because he would have won more legs. So both players would be on 8 points plus 4 legs difference. And Stevenson, because he would have won more legs because of the 4-0 win, would actually ascend to the top of the pile. And then all of a sudden, you're looking at a 3-horse race for 1 spot between Neil Duff, Carl Wilkinson and Benito van der Pas, you feel. And that the lay of the land. Paul Hogan will be hoping to
First leg, it's
get
Simon
the job
to throw
done
first.
at the earliest possible opportunity. Will not want this night to be any more dramatic than what it has to be.
Yeah, but he's facing a bit of a tough prospect in Simon Stevenson if he produces anything like he did in his opening victory over Neil Duff, which saw him hit in excess of 101 average. He was 4 from 6 from the doubles. He looked full of focus and much more like the Simon Stevenson that we saw pick up a weekly title just a few weeks ago.
Must say, I really do enjoy Friday night at the Live Lounge. Probably one of my favourite sessions of the week, this. Because come the end of play this evening, we will know the 6 players that are qualified through to Saturday night's final. We get a clear picture as to where the land lies. Absolute delirium reigns on a night like this.
Let's be honest, delirium reigns on many a session when we're in the comms box together, Henry.
Delirium reigns wherever I turn up.
Simon, you require 161.
Well, Stevenson making the stronger start of the two. I just wonder how much motivation that opening win over Neil Duff, who
65.
at the time was level on points, will give Simon Stevenson.
This is world-class play from Simon Stevenson. Average 101.12. Every leg he won in his match against Neil Duff was in 5 visits. Could win the first leg of this one in 5 visits if he can mop up the 96. He's going to get 2 darts at double 18. Well, you felt as if you knew the rest.
Paul, you require 138.
Yeah, we saw a couple of big finishes from Hoagie, but the 138 not going to be added to the tally.
98. Simon,
So
you require
take 2
36.
on the 18s for Stevenson. The man from the southwest and the northeast corner.
First leg.
Well, his worst leg of the night so far is a 16 darter.
And if that continues, then he is going to be a player that could threaten
Second leg, it's Paul to throw
to go
first.
through the card himself.
Game on.
No disrespect at all to the likes of Carl Wilkinson or Benito van der Pas, but arguably Simon Stevenson's got his hardest 2 matches if you look at how the table was in his opening couple of games. Already dispatched of Neil Duff, as mentioned, and looking to do the same here with Paul
45.
Hogan.
He could be the type of player, Simon Stevenson, over time that if he carries on playing here the next 12, 18 months, I reckon we could be talking about
45.
him in a similar vein to a Derek Coulson, a Steve West, a Neil Duff. Because you look at the way that his game is and the consistency which he has. And he doesn't have many blips either. He's the type of player that could hoover up weekly titles here.
I was here for
85.
that week that he won, and I actually mentioned it. You mentioned his name just then. He really does give off Derek Coulson-like vibes. He is very calm. He's very collected on the oche. And he just seems to be able to brush off disappointment and move on to the next. And that's what Derek does so well. And that is so important for this round-robin format.
I just feel to be successful here, the demeanour and mindset sometimes has to be a little bit different to elsewhere. Patience is such a key virtue here.
Yeah, could you imagine if you were a player that really did rely on adrenaline and big bursts and you know, that outcry when you get a leg, that if you were in Group A, I think you'd just be physically and mentally exhausted by the time you came to
95.
Friday.
Paul, you require
Please give me
36.
John Norman Jr. in a week.
Game short. on
Well,
the
that
second
is a
leg.
brilliant response
Hogan.
from Paul Hogan. 13 darter.
John Norman
Third
Jr.
leg, it's
and
Simon to
Richie
throw
Burnett in a Group
first.
A.
Game on.
Good luck to whoever's got to look after them two.
100.
Feel sorry for the poor referee that week, having to keep them two at bay.
140.
One apiece in this one. 13 darter from Hogan.
Yeah, and arguably Paul Hogan's worst game yesterday was that very first match, which was just a bit nervy, a bit edgy, but no signs of that in his opener tonight.
140.
Sometimes you're involved in a tournament. I know this is round robin, granted. But if you get through the scrappy opener, can you just play with a
140.
bit more feeling? Because you almost feel as if, do you know what, I can't play as bad as that again.
Yeah, just getting that first win, I just think it's so important, even if it is, as you say, not playing to your best of your ability.
85.
Just gives you that platform to build upon, and that's what we saw from Paul yesterday. And he's in a very good position and playing really, again, it just looks so effortless and
137.
free from Paul Hogan.
There
There was a time where we called him the professional amateur. Because he probably was one of, if not the best player who wasn't on tour.
59.
He's showing a glimpse of that here. Prior to that visit, it was averaging in excess of
Simon, you
111,
require
but couldn't find
36.
himself 2-1 down because Simon Stevenson is doing all of his work on throw here.
Game
13
shot on the
darter,
third leg.
2-1
Simon
to Stevenson.
Fourth leg, it's
Yeah,
Paul
to
to
me,
throw
that was a
first.
leg where Paul Hogan threw
Game
pretty
on.
much everything at Stevenson. And Stevenson, he has this ability. It's almost deceptive how well he's playing. I noticed that before.
140.
Really to go under the radar when he came here that first week. Obviously, his exploits mean he doesn't do that quite as often now.
Well, he spoke about how he enjoys going under the
140.
radar. I think you got a bit of a problem, pal, because you're not going to be allowed to do that anymore.
121.
Well, there's some Hogan. He's going up another stratosphere. If he carries on like this, I'm going to need to find another colour on my pen to find out how high an average it's going to be.
95.
But this goes to show how being good on your throw can count for so much. Paul Hogan, yes, he might have the higher average, but if Simon Stevenson could just rally off 5 and maybe the odd
100.
4 visit leg on throw, whatever Paul Hogan's throwing back at him is going to be somewhat of an irrelevance.
Yeah, it just forces your opponent, doesn't it, to hit 4 visits or less. And yeah, you can do that maybe a leg or 2, but to try and do that 4 times, not easy.
60. Paul, you require 140.
6 on 140 to level up at 2-2, and he's going to need the full quota.
116.
Sound set-up play from Hoagie.
100. Paul, you require
For what
24.
could well be the third consecutive 13 darter. If he doesn't get it here, he might not win the leg at all.
No
He's
score.
bust the score, and Stevenson is back for 106.
Simon,
and
you
you
require
wouldn't bet against him
106.
getting it.
Paul Hogan at the back of the stage can hardly watch.
86. Paul, you require 24.
I think he, like a lot of us, expected that double top to go. Hogan's been given a rare reprieve, but he can't miss double 6 again.
Slight pause, a reset for Paul Hogan.
12.
It's well thrown, but it's the wrong side of the wire. Paul Hogan cannot
Simon,
believe
you require
it.
20.
Is this the turning point in the contest? Double 5.
10.
Doesn't go.
Paul, you require 12.
What an opportunity missed for Simon Stevenson. 6 darts in this leg missed by Paul Hogan. He's not going to miss again.
The fourth leg. Paul Hogan
gets there in the end. Forget about the numbers. The important thing for Hoagie is he's back
Fifth
on
leg,
terms
it's
at 2-2.
Simon to throw first. Game on.
But that was precarious. A slight sign of some fragility in Paul Hogan. Didn't see a great deal of that yesterday.
And the first time really we've seen Simon Stevenson buckle tonight. Hogan now, all of a sudden, 2 legs away from qualifying through to tomorrow night.
95.
Not that you'd know. Looks like he's dawdling around in the park going for a little walk.
60.
Well, I think he knows that he got away with one there because Stevenson missed tops with the 106 and then still had another chance to see off the
55.
leg.
One thing you'll always get with Paul Hogan is his heart on his sleeve. You'll always know exactly how he's feeling.
121.
He's one of those dart players you wouldn't mind playing poker against.
I've got a list of those.
Ironically, the easiest player to play a game of poker
100.
against, judging by their face, is actually Poker Face himself, Magnus Carris, because I don't think there's ever been an implosion quite like his one against Steve Beaton at the World Championship.
60.
I think he was one more boo away from maybe lamping someone in the front row.
123. Simon, you require 160.
Well, Stevenson looking at a 3-figure out, and it's not happening here. Well, we've waxed lyrical about how well Stevenson has thrown when he's had the opportunity to go
85.
first.
Paul,
but this is now an opening for
128.
Paul Hogan.
The first few legs was an exhibition of brilliance. Now we're heading towards the scrappy part. The tetchy, edgy part. And perhaps no surprise.
39.
For Hogan, if he wins, he goes through.
Simon,
Stevenson
you require
wins,
75.
he puts a footchy feel into Saturday night. 18 for double top. Tops a 3-2.
Game
Tops
shot
found,
on
and
the
Simon
fifth leg.
Stevenson has his lead again.
Stevenson.
Yeah, for the majority of the match, Stevenson's finishing has
Sixth
been
leg,
pretty
it's Paul
tidy.
to throw
Yes, there was that
first.
slip
Game
against the
on.
darts in the previous leg, but on throw, the finishing has been excellent.
38.
I'd love to see a game between Paul Hogan and Rob Collins.
Do tell.
Well, Paul Hogan doesn't give much away.
100.
Well, that actually gives a lot. Can I
Start again. Hang on,
Start again.
hang on. Do tell.
Paul Hogan gives a lot away. And Rob Collins, well,
100.
he is just the man of emotions. The man of steel, the man of emotions. And every time you watch him play, you're more interested in what he's doing in the background when the other guy's throwing.
100.
Because his facial expressions are a sight to behold. You should hang it in the Louvre.
41.
Well, things just starting to look a little bit sticky here for Paul Hogan.
100.
The man of steel from Bognor Regis. Should have called himself The Rock.
100.
Probably most famous for its butlins than anything else.
Yes, have been there. Done a few exhibitions.
100.
Did host a PDC major. The former World Pairs Championship was there for a couple of years back in the 90s.
100. Simon, you require
There's to wrap it up
101.
and put himself onto 8 points, and it would be the perfect start to the evening. He's putting back-to-back good performances, but the
61.
champagne is on ice in this
Paul,
particular
you require
match.
122. And this could be must-hit territory for Paul Hogan. First part of the combination found. 68 left. Double 7 for a 1-2-2 and a
Game
skin saver
shot
for
on the
Paul
sixth leg.
Hogan. Levels
Paul
us up
Hogan.
at 3 apiece, and we are going the distance.
Now,
Seventh and
Paul
final
Hogan
leg. It's
finds
Simon
himself to win
throw
a leg
first.
of qualifying
Game
through
on.
to tomorrow night's final.
This one's been a real funny old game, hasn't it? Started off absolutely emphatically, but what a finish it was, and it looks like it could be ending in the same manner that it started.
It's just felt like both players have followed one another, hasn't it? They both got out the gate quickly. Then when they struggled on the doubles, they
100.
followed one another in that suit. But now, the impetus is on Paul Hogan. Stevenson kicked off with a maximum. He's not going to follow up in that vein. In fact, if he goes trebleless, there's an opening.
43.
There is an opening. If Hogan can find a couple of trebles here.
Paul will know it. He was stood at the back of the stage. He was trying to pump himself up. He knows how important just getting that one win early will be.
100.
It's okay, but he would have wanted more.
The adjustment with that second dart
140.
from Simon Stevenson, then to follow it back up under what might feel a world of pressure on the shoulders, because he's done so much hard work in beating Neil Duff. If he can get this win
100.
over
Simon,
Paul
you require
Hogan, then
138.
he'll be on joint points.
Well, we're not going to see the greatest 138 we've ever seen to win a match in this building.
98.
But it's pretty decent setup play from Simon Stevenson, with Paul Hogan just looking on at the back because he was coming back not on a finish.
100.
Well, how
Simon,
many
you
times have we
require
seen
40.
this? Simon Stevenson on a double after a dozen. But he's only going to get one more to win it.
20.
And Hogan's going to come back, and this is to qualify.
Paul, you require 101.
3 match starts come and gone. We've just seen the 1-2-2 from Paul Hogan to keep himself in the fixture. Stevenson can't believe he's missed 3. Well, it's still on. 86 required. Double 16. Hoagie steals himself. Just resets.
69.
Misses by the narrowest of margins.
Simon, you require 20.
Hogan has missed a dart to qualify. This to strengthen Stevenson's grip. Two fives.
Game.
Finds
shot.
it in
And
the
match.
end. That's
Simon
2 wins out of 2
Stevenson.
for Simon Stevenson to kick the evening off. For Paul Hogan, he's going to have to wait a bit longer to qualify to tomorrow night's final. That's for Simon Stevenson. Those 2 wins has put himself in a very good position to return to the Saturday night showdown. Coming up next, a big showdown to see who is going to take charge of the race for third place. Benito van der Pas against Neil Duff. Welcome back. Before the break, we saw Paul Hogan miss a dart to qualify through to tomorrow night's final. The anguish of Hoagie was then met with the ecstasy for Simon Stevenson. He's played 2 of the first 3 matches on this Friday evening and he's won the pair of them. And that means he finds himself on 8 points in the group and in a very strong position now to qualify. He's 4 clear of Neil Duff, 4 clear of Carl Wilkinson, and we could actually find ourselves with a gaggle of players on 4 points if Benito van der Pas gets the better of Neil Duff in game 4 of the evening. Turns out, forget 3, 4 is seemingly the magic number tonight. But who is going to be the first to 4 in this particular contest? For Benito, he lost 4-1 to Carl Wilkinson to kick the night off. Neil Duff lost 4-2 to Simon Stevenson, but that was a corker of a contest. Neil averaging just under the 96 mark to 2 out of the 3 opportunities he had at the outer ring. It was a match where all 6 legs were running 5-visit range. So you would expect if he plays at a similar level, he should get a different outcome this time around.
You would expect so, but we have seen Benito van der Pas raise his level when he has suffered a disappointment. So, again, it's another interesting tie. Neil Duff desperate to make
First
sure
leg,
he
it's
solidifies
Benito
a place
to throw
in
first.
tomorrow's
Game on.
finals. But Benito van der Pas, he might have something to say about it.
58.
I'm sure what Benito won't want to do is, with particularly the way Group A went, there was some really good performances in there. Yesterday there was 1 or 2 decent displays. Okay, he didn't get points. What he doesn't want to do is feel like he comes out tonight having undone all the good work that he did earlier on this week.
Well, if he keeps finding darts like that, then
180.
he'll be more than happy.
85.
Keep talking about the shift in pressure for players as the evening progresses. And as we thought there was going to be some movement on the table, we're already starting to see that.
129.
Yeah, the only thing that hasn't changed so far is the fact that Paul Hogan's at the top of the table. Everybody else is doing some
177.
jiggery
Benito,
pokery
you
in this
require
Group B
134.
ladder. Van der Pas unable to take out the 134, but he has got 6 darts to do exactly
54.
that.
$82. Benito, you require 80.
Duff not happy with the last start. Double 11.
58. Neil, you require 102.
This for the break. And see when he save his skin. Touch up a 14 to leave tops. Van der
94.
Pas looking for the Taylor
Benito,
Swift
you
double.
require 22.
Yeah, that click the wire. Just needs to bring it on the inside.
Game shot in the first leg. Benito van der Pas.
And Nick Rolls just leaning in there because I have to say we had that angle and even I wasn't quite sure if that
Second
one was
leg,
in.
it's Neil to throw first.
Yeah, just
Game on.
snuck in between the wire. But Van der Pas taking out the 22.
100.
Well, Van der Pas taking out the 22. If Neil Duff doesn't qualify tonight, he's going to have a cruel summer, isn't he? Because he's not going to be playing at Champions Week for the
81.
first time in a while. I'm sure he'll very quickly shake it off.
121.
I will just have to bow down to your greater Taylor Swift knowledge on this one. I mean, my daughter was a
42.
Swiftie, but she's 15 now and she's over it.
$45.
You're being a real anti-hero tonight.
I have heard of that one.
42.
The question is, were people Swifties when she was a country music singer? That's the big question.
105.
That inviting first dart once again for Benito van der Pas. When he gets it right, he really does.
135. Nearly require 130.
Well, Duff with the luxury of a couple of visits to convert the 130 and to square this contest
94.
up at one apiece. Goes about the setup turn rather well. Double 18 when he comes back.
96. Nearly require 36.
Going straight for double 9. Does not want to go inside. 105, not a
Game
given,
shot
but
on the second
Benito van der
leg.
Pas will
Neil
not get
Duff.
the chance to see if it would go.
Third leg, it's Benito to
Fairness,
throw first.
Benito van der Pas
Hold
has
on.
got a decent taste in music. He walked on to an absolute banger. I Was Made for Loving You by Kiss. Now
100.
that is a tune.
So, I mean, you may have been asked this before.
100.
I mean, if you had a walk-on song, or do you have a walk-on song, what would it be?
Slow Hands by Niall Horan.
140.
Yeah, good choice, Henry. That real crowd pleaser.
95.
Seriously, do you know what?
Honestly, it is so tough.
Yeah, I mean, I've spoken to players
82.
about this in the past, and there's a lot of players that have flicked through a few options. I mean, Cam Crouch is a great example where he literally went through
59.
about 20 different songs, and he's still not convinced the one he's got at the minute, Blinding Lights by The Weeknd, is the one for him. But I like what Dave Chisnell does. He has a Euro Tour walk-on, which
79.
works in Germany, and then he has his Victories walk-on track based here in the UK.
Sensible. You want to play to the audience. We know how much that
95.
actually having the crowd behind
Benito,
you
you
can
require
really
100.
motivate a player.
Double 10.
Game shot
That-
in the third leg.
It's on
Benito
top, but put Van der Pas 2-1 up.
Fourth leg,
Quite
it's
a bit
Neil
of head
to throw
shaking
first.
going on from Neil Duff.
Game
He
on.
won this encounter yesterday 4 legs to 1. Won it pretty comfortably in the end. But as we've mentioned, Van der Pas, he has shown his levels. But
85.
we know Neil Duff, he always strives for perfection. He wants to win absolutely everything he's involved in.
82.
You had a good choice in taste in walk-on songs, so much so that the number 5 decided to copy it.
22.
It is true. I had it first. And he knows this. The difference was, and I did say this to him, he was doing it on world stages whilst I was doing it in workingmen's clubs at county venues.
171.
Let's go tournamental.
Doesn't quite work, does it? Wasn't the first time I
70.
used, though. I did the same, went through county level, and I think the first one I remember having was the final countdown by Europe.
80. 80.
Yeah, it's a walk-on song that's been heard 3 times at Lakeside.
100.
Yeah, 3 times at Lakeside. I did question whether I could use it when I played in the women's match play, because
60.
obviously Stephen was in the main version of that. But obviously I was in the women's event. It was perfectly fine.
Well, Niels Zonneveld and Andreas Havison shared a walk-on at the World Championships.
100. Benito, you require 108.
Well, this for 3-1, and this for the breaker throw, which have put him in full control of this game. Put to
88.
double top, open target.
Nearly require
Unable to find.
124.
The shot is on. It's ball required.
99.
Sarcastic thumbs up
Benito,
for Neil
you
Duff.
require 20.
Find the ball to level things up at 2 apiece.
Game shot and the fourth
Well, Van der
leg.
Pas is
Benito
3-1 up.
Van der
And
Pas.
I'm just beginning to get the sense that Neil Duff's feeling as if everyone's beginning to raise their game and play their best stuff
Fifth
against
leg,
him.
it's Benito to throw first. Game on.
Saw it from Simon Stevenson. This is much better than some of the other things we've seen from Benito van der Pas in this group.
But he looks like he's found a real rhythm, a real range, and it's max number 2 for Benito van der Pas.
This is beginning
45.
to become a bit of a chore for the Duff man. And as we know, Neil takes great pride in his record here with the Live Lounge. Seldom happens he doesn't qualify for a Saturday.
But do you think Benito's just throwing that little bit quicker up there in this match? He seems to have a real pace, a real rhythm about him.
100.
I get the sense he's almost thrown a little bit of caution to the wind. I feel like he's thrown with a bit more freedom, which is maybe why we're seeing him throw with a bit more fluency.
60. 95. Benito, you require 130.
Well, this for a second consecutive defeat. Well, the 130's not going to go, but with Neil back, he's not even past the halfway line after 9 darts thrown. Plenty of time for Van der Pas.
We speak a lot about Neil Duff's reset mentality. Well, he's going to have to do that midway inside a session here. He's going to be 0-2 if Van der Pas takes out the 86.
100.
And he's got
Benito,
2 big
you
games
require
to come
86.
against
against Paul Hogan. How important could Game 10 between him and Carl Wilkinson potentially be? Because Van der Pas looks at double
shot,
16
and the match.
to wrap up
Benito
a 4-1 win. For Neil Duff, that's 2 defeats out of 2. And he has got a lot of work to do if he is to make it through. But for Van der Pas, an average in excess of 91. The 4-1 win. And next up, we're going to see Paul Hogan and Carl Wilkinson go head-to-head. Well, we're heading towards the halfway point of our night here in Group B. And before the break, we saw Benito van der Pas get the better of Neil Duff by 4 legs to 1. Game 5 is a meeting between Carl Wilkinson and Paul Hogan. For Crocodile Dundee, a win here would qualify him through to Saturday night's final. And he would do so with a couple of games to spare. Win for Wilkie, and he would move on to 6 points. And would put Neil Duff and Benito van der Pas in a spot above in terms of the qualifying race.
First leg, it's Paul to throw first. Game on.
Could be an intriguing few moments ahead for Paul Hogan. He just wants to take care of business. Doesn't want to have a little glance over his shoulder going into the final couple of games. Did miss a dart to qualify through against Simon Stevenson before losing out 4-3, despite averaging 93 and change in 60. That particular contest. It was a decent performance, just not the result he would have wanted.
Yeah, this yesterday was a game that it was played in good spirits. Both of these two have recently represented their country at the Tri-Nations over in Merthyr Tydfil, but Paul Hogan's best performance of the night came against Carl. Average in excess of 101, and are we looking to do something 95. Similar just to guarantee that spot in the finals night?
Yeah, next time they see each other after tonight may well be in North Devon next month for the
100.
North Devon was Horton Ilfracombe. Wilkinson, of course, the England captain.
85. $130. $78.
Well, that's a solid enough start here for Paul Hogan, who has time from the 111. Tops.
71. $127.
Wilkinson
Paul,
just tapping on the shoulder, reminding Paul Hogan he's there if this doesn't go, but no problem for Paul.
Hogan.
Well, he probably would have taken that defeat in isolation, Paul Hogan, because he did play poorly.
Game on.
And you feel if he could play to a similar standard in this one, then he should be able to get the job done and be able to get the 2 points that he needs tonight to
41.
Qualify himself through to Saturday evening.
Yeah, he'll know the risk that Carl Wilkinson possesses as well. He's a solid player. He's a weekly winner here. But the one thing that I will say about Wilkie that we've seen is just maybe a little bit too slow to get off the mark in matches. He did get that win over Van der Pas in his first match, but for both players, it took them a while to warm to the task.
$100. $85.
Well, Hogan's wrestled control of this leg. Against the throw, looking to double his lead.
41.
However, he's presented an opening back to his Yorkshire opponent.
$100.
Wilkinson first down to a finish.
40.
Yeah, and that a couple of loose visits, frustration for Paul Hogan.
Perfectly sat for another. Finds it, double 16. Well, last night he took out a 161, which really set him in tow, but he's unable to find a 152 to do something similar. Not that he had to, but he's going to be forced to take out the double 16 now because Hogan's lurking on tops of the break.
Carly require 32.
Getting awkward.
16. Paul, you require 40.
This to hit the front. And to put him 2 away
Game
again
shot
from
in the second
qualification
leg. Paul
through to
Hogan.
tomorrow night's final. Hogan gets a break, which gives him full control of this contest.
Third leg, it's Paul to throw first. Game on.
2-0 to the good, and doing so in 32 darts, averaging 93.94 right now.
100.
Yeah, that there a leg that was gift wrapped by Wilkinson in the end.
140.
Well, if in game 1, Wilkinson had to rely on gift-wrapped opportunities from Benito van der
100.
Pas, well, he's returning the favour to Paul Hogan in this.
100.
But there's a nice response from Carl Wilkinson.
60. 100.
Oh, he's on that 161 again.
140.
The pressure applied
Carly
by
require
Paul Hogan.
161.
Took it out yesterday. Is it a case of rinse and repeat?
136.
Almost.
Paul, you require 101.
Double 18 for a 101.
Game shot.
The finishing
in the third
has
leg.
been very good indeed. 3 from 4 for Paul Hogan, including the 101 finish and a
Fourth
small
leg, it's Carl
celebration
to
at the
throw
back of the
first.
stage.
Game on.
The 101 joins the 122 in the Ton Plus catalogue for Paul Hogan tonight.
100.
Getting stuck in. Crocodile Dundee.
60. 60. 60.
Well, Paul Hogan had an opportunity to qualify for finals night in that first match against Simon Stevenson. Missed a match dart. Now looking to charge
138.
towards the finish line against Carl Wilkinson.
Even when he's on the back foot, he finds something to keep himself lingering.
59.
Wilkie's thinking, do you have to? Do you have to? Do you have to let it linger?
60. Carl, you require 144.
Another. Friend the 152 in the previous leg, not going to get the 144.
96. Paul, you require 141.
And this a chance for Paul Hogan. Treble 15 will be the route, but
85.
a chance for
Carl, you
Wilkinson.
require 48.
Another opportunity to get something on the board. Double 16.
Game shot.
Smothers
in the
away
fourth
through.
leg.
Back to
Carl
3-1.
Wilkinson.
Hogan being forced to serve it out. Once again in a situation
Fifth
where
leg,
he
it's Paul
throws to
throw
qualify.
first. Game on.
Win this leg. And the seemingly inevitable will be confirmed, and he will be playing
60.
Saturday night darts here on the South Coast.
99.
Wilkinson, though, just seems to have found that extra gear that he's needed to remain competitive in this match.
62.
Decent contest this, represented in the two averages.
60.
And this has been pretty much a base level for Paul Hogan this evening. As I mentioned at the beginning of this match, average 93 and change in that
97.
4-3 defeat to Simon Stevenson. And maintaining a similar kind of standard here.
Yeah, and the outcome in this fixture could be very different indeed. You look at
42.
those finishing stats. Paul Hogan, as mentioned, has been almost perfect, but 6 missed for Wilkinson. You cannot afford to do that at this level.
100.
Punish to the hilt. Needs a 2 treble turn here to leave himself a finish, Wilkie.
121.
Well, he got the 2 trebles, but a slip with the last means he'll have to wait.
Yeah, the caveat being that he couldn't then put one wide.
100.
Hogan's left himself on a 2-darter to put himself through to tomorrow night's final. On Thursday, he completed the cards. Tonight, he is carried on where he's
83.
left off. He didn't win his first
Paul, you
game,
require 82.
but he has had too much for the Yorkshireman here. 74 left. Should be treble 14. Could go treble 18, double 10, but treble 14 will be the play.
42.
Shake of the head can only
Carl, you
set up.
require 96.
That's 2 in hand. It's double 18. Double 9.
87.
So this
Paul, you require 40.
to play on to Saturday.
Game, shot.
Paul Hogan
And the
qualifies.
match.
He's
Paul
into
Hogan.
tomorrow night's final. He has been the best player in Group B, and he will be playing tomorrow night. And looking for a 3rd weekly title is Crocodile Dundee, and that will put him amongst the greats here. That the tail of the tape. A 4-1 win for Paul Hogan. He's into tomorrow night's final. Coming up next, Simon Stevenson takes on Benito van der Pas. Halfway through the night here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. 5 games played in this Group B, and this is the story of Darting Balamory, which you need to know. It kicked off with Simon Stevenson and a ton-plus average and a 4-2 win over Neil Duff. Carl Wilkinson got the better of Benito van der Pas by 4 legs to 1. Stevenson got his second win of the night, beating Paul Hogan in the last leg decider. And then Benito may have put finito potentially to Neil Duff's hopes of qualifying through. A 4-1 win there, and before the break, Paul Hogan was the first player to qualify, getting the better of Carl Wilkinson by that same scoreline. So that is how this evening has gone so far. Let's confirm it by having a look at the table. And as you can see, Paul Hogan is glistening in gold. He's the first player in Group B to qualify through to tomorrow night's final. Simon Stevenson on 8 points, and the other 3 players all on 4, looking at what looks like the final spot through. Now, Simon Stevenson isn't qualified through as of yet, but it would take something catastrophic for him not to. Now, he can dot the I's and cross the T's here. If he gets the better of Benito van der Pas in Game 6 of our evening, then he will be the 5th of 6 players that will qualify through to tomorrow night's final here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. Up against Benito van der Pas, who seemingly in keeping with tonight, saving his best performance for Neil Duff, averaged 91.14, 4 from 9 in terms of his finishing. But it's also fair to say, Laura, that Simon Stevenson has been the player of the night thus far.
He has indeed, yeah, kicked us off, didn't he, with that win that you mentioned, with in excess of 101 average. Backed it up very nicely indeed, meaning that Paul Hogan suffered his only loss so far in Group B, and looking to do the same here against van der Pas. I just felt van der Pas just had a little bit more rhythm to his throw in that win over Neil Duff. But doesn't it make interesting reading those 3 players, just one leg separating them once again? Even though they've played a couple of games each, there is nothing separating van der Pas and Carl Wilkinson.
Seemingly conjoined at the hip in this group, these two.
81.
So I just wonder whether that good performance against Neil Duff may just light a fuse in Benito van der Pas. I mean, you've been in a similar position to Benito where you've taken a bit of a break
60.
from the game. Can it sometimes just click like that?
Yeah, when it feels right, you just wish you could bottle it.
140.
You really do. But I think the one thing that does take its time to come back is that confidence. I mentioned match sharpness as well, knowing how to do the right things at the right time when there is pressure
58.
stacked on you. And that is something that you only get by playing more and more matches. And I know Benito said that coming here, he wanted to have that experience of playing a lot of matches at a competitive
95.
level, just so he could test himself. You called it a process earlier, and this is very much part of the process of getting back up to the... He might not want to go right to the top echelons of the sport, but perhaps just to have a look and see where he stacks
Benito,
up again.
You require 86.
It's definitely been a litmus test for him. Pull for double 16 was what he's looking at with 82
46.
left. Stevenson looking at the
Simon,
big fish.
You require 170.
Well, on the coast in Plymouth, but he's not going to be fishing.
60.
Get
Benito,
some
you require
wonderful sea
40.
produce in Devon.
Game
Van
shot.
der Pas finds the tops for 13 dart
Benito
break.
van der Pas.
These are the
Second
purple
leg, it's
patches that
Benito
we've been
to throw
talking about, that we
first.
saw throughout
Game on.
Group A, seen in spurts in Group B.
96.
And in fact, it was one of Van der Pas's best games yesterday. He did get the better of Stevenson 4 legs to 1 yesterday.
60. 98.
And actually, you look at the group that Benito's placed in. We mentioned it before. He's the only player of the 5 that hasn't won a weekly title here. So he's in very esteemed company. So the gauge he's going to get for playing in this group is where his game exactly is at. At least in comparison to the top echelon of the amateur level anyway.
$100. Benito, you require 167.
Shots on. Doesn't have to go for it, so opting to set up.
Sensible play with Stevenson all the way back on 220. Would love a 140 to leave himself on a 2-darter. Not going to happen.
One.
Finishes like 70.
Benito, you require 70.
For Benito van der Pas. Can sometimes be awkward, but if you find the treble 18, you can go straight for the
62.
double 8. But the double 8 not
Simon,
found.
you require 120.
Van der Pas glaring at that scoreboard. And Stevenson needs a big adjustment. Finds it in the treble 20 bed. Tops for a 120.
80. Benito, you require 8.
Laser-like focus as he locks into double 2.
6.
Unable to convert, and so Stevenson returns.
Simon, you require
Tops
40.
to break back.
The week Simon Stevenson won, he had tops pretty much on a string.
30. Benito, you require 2.
A reprieve for Van der Pas.
Game
And this
shot
time,
on the
double 1
second
is
leg.
found.
Benito van der Pas.
2-0 to Big Ben.
Third leg, it's Simon to throw first. Game on.
But will Big Ben be chiming tomorrow night?
$140. $140.
I look to the heavens from Simon Stevenson because he had a chance to level up at 1 apiece. Finds himself 2-0 down in a real
100.
battle with Van der Pas. Just feels inevitable. It's maximum number 2, and it was a maximum masterclass yesterday. Benito van der Pas finding 4 maximums against Simon Stevenson.
You know what I said at the beginning of the night about how he doesn't want to do all the hard work this week? If anything, he's going in the opposite direction now.
95. Simon, you require
Performance against Neil Duff last time out, and here averaging an excess of 101, but is he going to be brought back to 2-1? Not on this occasion. Van der Pas will return for 86. Might just be a dart at the ball, but a chance to go free to the goods.
89.
Yeah, and a chance for the double break
Benito,
for Van der Pas.
86.
To effectively have this game exactly where he wants it. Double 14. There's 74 left.
46.
He will leave
Simon,
tops,
you require
but when are you going to
32.
go with it?
Game shot and the third leg.
Yeah, there's a hole to throw for Simon Stevenson.
Fourth leg, it's Benito to throw first. Game on.
I mentioned previously, Simon Stevenson, former tour card holder, as we know, is Benito van der Pas, and they did
97.
meet when they both played on the PDC circuit. Benito van der Pas has not lost to Simon Stevenson previously, and I just wonder if that is just the little spring in the step that's helping him play
85.
so well against someone who is probably just a little bit more familiar to him.
He's got his number.
$134.
Did say to me yesterday, Benito, that his goal is to
95.
return to the World Championship one day. WDF's not something that he's going to dabble in. So if it's going to be a World Championship, then Ali Pali's probably going to be the
134.
destination.
Yeah, it's an extended field, 2-1-2-8 at Alexandra Palace. And why not? I think
100. Benito, you
Benito
require
van der Pas
136.
at his best could challenge anyone.
And we've open qualified pretty much now through all the major European regions.
80.
All he has to do is to sign up to one of them, turn up on any given day, which you know he's capable of, and who knows, we could see him back on the iconic stage in Muswell Hill come December
Benito,
1 year.
you require 56. Game shot.
Very
on the
cleanly
fourth leg.
taken, a 14
Benito
dart
van der
leg, and a
Pas.
little bit of a reaction from Van der Pas. I think he's starting to enjoy himself up there.
Fifth leg, it's Simon to throw first.
Yeah, you mentioned that
Game
qualifier,
on.
a former weekly winner here, and David Davies was the one that came through the UK qualifier to get a spot last year.
Played Luke Littler, didn't he? And
140.
possibly should have taken the first set of the nuke.
180.
Maximum number 3. And I imagine Simon Stevenson's just thinking, what is it about me that is making Benito van der Pas play so well each time?
41.
And sometimes you can't put rhyme or reason as to why you have a good or a bad record against a particular
93.
player. Sometimes it really can just be anomalised.
60.
But he's certainly getting into the groove, isn't he, Benito?
134.
Yeah, he's making this look simple, and he's looking likely to make Simon Stevenson wait to qualify.
180. Benito, you require 94.
Well, this has been vintage
Game,
for Benito
shot,
van der Pas.
and the match.
He wraps it
Benito
up with an
van der
11
Pas.
dart leg, and that is an average in excess of 105.5. Well, Big Ben hasn't been on the big stage for the best part of 3 years, but he's really beginning to rediscover the form which took him to the top 16 in the world. As you can see there, an average of 105.64, a 4-1 win against Simon Stevenson, which means that Neil Duff now has to beat Paul Hogan next.
Well, take a bow, Benito van der Pas, because that was the performance of the week. The Dutchman celebrating with that 4-1 win. It was 105.64 average, 4 from 10 on the outer ring. But most importantly, he has just stopped Simon Stevenson at this point from qualifying through to finals night. He has now raised his stock. He is on 6 points. Simon Stevenson on 8 points. And now the pressure falls back on the shoulders of Neil Duff, who has not had the best start to the evening. It seems that the players he's coming up against are producing some of their best. He lost his opening match 4 legs to 2 to Simon Stevenson, who had a ton plus average himself. And then it was Van der Pas again who beat Duffman 4 legs to 1. Duff, every time he enters this building, there is an expectation that he makes it through to Saturday because he has got so many weekly wins here at the Super Series, but he is playing a player in Paul Hogan. And I just wonder, now that Paul Hogan knows that he's qualified, we've seen it before, it can go one of 2 ways. Kevin Edwards this afternoon, once he'd qualified, played one of his best matches, if not his best match of the week. He was relaxed. There was no pressure.
125.
But the flip side of that is sometimes the adrenaline drains away once you know you've done what you need to do.
And the other thing is, if you remember Neil Duff's interview, the name Paul Hogan came up a fair bit. This might have been the game that he was targeting earlier on this evening. And now he really has to target it, having lost his first 2. And there probably is a feeling that players are playing their better stuff against him. He was on the receiving end of 101 average against Simon Stevenson. Benito van der Pas, 91. At that point, his best performance in this group. But that was usurped.
43.
With that 105 last time out. We've seen some decent stuff tonight. Kind of in keeping with yesterday's, been a high quality Group B that we've seen in this week too. Which is why a player of the
81.
calibre, the capabilities, the quality and the CV of Neil Duff in this building finds himself, you can make an argument, on the chopping block somewhat.
You could indeed. And I do wonder, when you are a player
54.
that walks in here, and he is a confident guy, we know that what we get from Neil Duff, but when you've got 6 weekly titles, it must put a bit of a target on your back.
Confident. He was predicting score lines in which he was going to win when he won the World Championship. Got told off for that by his mother. She said, no, cannot do that anymore, so he decided to stop it.
97. Neil, you require 62.
Well, it will be 1 dart at a double. That double of choice is tops.
Game shot and the first
Clean
leg.
breaker
Neil
throw
Duff.
for Neil Duff in 15.
Second leg, it's Neil
Which
to
was
throw
the
first.
passage of
Game
play in his game against Simon Stevenson, where all of the 6 legs in that game were won in 5 visit range.
100.
Incidentally, if Neil Duff wins this game, Simon Stevenson may not be as safe as you think. He plays Carl Wilkinson in the next.
100.
But if Wilkie wins that, Simon's out of games. He'll stay on 8. You'd have 3 players in behind on 6 who'll
60.
play the last 2 matches of the evening. And of course, Duff wins this match. He'll be on the crest of a wave when he takes on Wilkie in the last.
Yeah, I was here that
60.
week when Steve Beaton, he got to 8 points, but still it was not enough for him to go through to finals night. 8 is not a guarantee by
140.
any shot.
And that was a week which Simon Stevenson played in and won in. Was it that week or was that another week?
140.
I'd have to delve into the Super Series archives.
Gonna be honest, my brain is fried after the last couple of days.
45.
Absolutely, and we are approaching the midnight hour, but there is more darts to come.
Yeah, I feel like mental toast right now.
It's making me hungry.
105. Neil, you require
More
156.
crumpets this time of night, isn't it, than toast? Does that make me sound like an old man?
A lot of what you say makes you
100.
sound like an old man.
Paul, you require 96.
26 left, will persevere.
40 scored, yeah. 60. Neil, you require 56.
Double top to put Duff 2-0 to the goods.
36.
High and low, and Hoagie is back for the double. He does more than any other.
36.
Neil Duff did all the hard work in the first leg to find a break, but he could be broken straight back here by Paul Hogan, and he is.
Second leg. Paul Hogan.
Back to one apiece, and Neil Duff will feel like that was a tangible opportunity missed there.
Third leg, it's Paul to throw first. Game on. $140.
Yeah, just a little bit of extra shoulder action there for Paul Hogan. Didn't quite get the release right in the last start.
40.
It's a fear here for Neil. If he's not careful, he could be finding himself hanging on by his coattails in this game.
$44.
Shake of the head from Neil Duff. Yeah, as we mentioned, hasn't done a great deal wrong
100.
tonight. He's just been on the wrong end of some good performances, some big results.
Well, we'll go through in the next leg the performances that have been required to beat Neil Duff in this
23.
group.
Paul, you require
First
140.
Hogan, who's averaging just under 99 here after 2 and a bit legs, is looking at 140 to move 2-1 to the good.
92.
Yeah, interesting choice there for Paul as well. So much time on his side. Opted to go for the treble 16 for 80.
60. Paul, you require 48.
This is going very wrong very quickly here for Neil. So
16.
Hogan is going to need a bit more time to edge his nose in front. Only a max would have left Neil a finish on that particular position.
Paul, you require 32.
Wow, a big slip with that first start, but back on
Game
track and
shot
back
on the third
in
leg.
the double.
Paul Hogan.
2-1 to the good. Now he's just dropping underneath 90, but these are the performances that have been
Fourth leg, it's Neil
needed
to throw
to beat
first.
Neil Duff this week,
Game on.
or in this group, shall I say. Paul Hogan a 4-1 win in Game 4 yesterday, averaged 96.62, 4 from 5 on the doubles, including a 157 checkout. His other defeat yesterday evening was to Simon Stevenson, who averaged 98.82, 4 from 8 in terms of his finishing. Lost to Stevenson at the beginning of tonight, but the same
140.
scoreline, average of 101.12 for the mere man, 4 from 6 on his doubles, and Benito van der Pas averaging just over 91, 4 for 9, including a ton
100.
checkout to beat Neil Duff 4-1 in Game 4 on this Friday night.
Well, Duff kicking off there with back-to-back tons, but not happy with the outcome after finding that treble 20 early.
81.
This sounds very strange what I'm about to say, because Paul Hogan's top of the group and has only lost one game in this Group B. But when you think about the Saturday night equation, I get the sense he's going to severely go under the radar, which he shouldn't do because of the performances that he's put in this week.
He shouldn't do, but considering the fact that he came into this group as quite a big outsider, I think you probably got a good point.
65.
Well, he's left himself on a single to double combo. Good response in this leg, because things could have very easily gone wrong for Neil Duff. The last leg didn't go to plan whatsoever, but he's going to have to take out the 56 because Hogan's left himself on tops with a break. But it's that target that Duff wants here. 2 10s. Doesn't
46.
go.
I'm just watching Paul Hogan in the background. He is living every dart at the moment.
40.
And usually he doesn't watch. Usually he stands in the background and waits to hear what the referee says.
20. Neil, you require 10.
Well, he's getting opportunities, Neil.
Game
And eventually
shot on the
takes
fourth
this
leg.
one to
Neil
square
Duff.
the match up.
But it just feels like such hard work
Fifth
at the
leg, it's
moment
Paul
for
to
Neil
throw
Duff.
First. Game on.
And as you say, he's hanging on the coattails of Paul Hogan in this match, but he's also hanging on in this group,
100.
depending on this result.
$60.
It's not often we see Neil Duff this flustered.
$140.
Well, I guess it's the way to look at it. You know, he'll know all the different permutations. He'll know the matches coming up, the points on offer. He's played this too many times not to. And then you face the guy that
100.
is already qualified, and you think, right, okay, you know, head on. You've already mentioned the fact that he was not happy that Paul Hogan went through the card yesterday. He wanted to be the player to stop him. Well, it's not going to happen because he's already been stopped by
81.
Simon Stevenson, but that is not the point. He is now in a bit of trouble in this group.
Well, he's in a dogfight.
60.
Yeah, as it stands, he is out of a qualification position with one game left to go, and it's that last game of the evening. Could be drama in Group B.
40.
There's always drama in Group B.
Yeah, last week it was 2 straight shootouts in the final 2 matches to see who went through.
Yeah, I'm sure Dawson Michelle doesn't want reminding of that.
100. Paul, you require 140.
Hogan looking at 140 to move himself 3-2 to the goods. He's got 6, gonna need it.
78.
Shake of the head, but does cover well when he goes down to the 19s.
$57. Paul, you require 62.
So 62 to lead 3-2. 56 left. Will probably be 20 for his favoured double 18.
Yeah, just a quick recalculation from Paul Hogan,
Game
and that
shot
is
on
why
the
he
fifth
likes
leg.
double 18 so
Paul
much.
Hogan.
Neil Duff is beginning to stare down the barrel.
6th leg, it's Neil to throw first. Game on.
He is in big trouble. That's a Paul Hogan. I don't have a clue what that was meant to be.
45. $66.
Well, this game has the feel of one that is going to go to a last leg decider.
89.
That said, Neil Duff, if he does not win this match, then, I mean, by his own standard, this has been a subpar performance so far in a must-win match. And
180.
Hoagie hitting his first max of the match, that does not help, and that's so awkward. That shake of the head just means that it's forcing the switch for Neil.
96.
Well, if Neil Duff loses this game, he needs Simon Stevenson and Paul Hogan to do him a few favours, and he's going to have to beat Wilkie in the last.
59.
Well, that is an ironic gilding.
$95.
And I just wonder, there's been so much talk this week, because there is a week with Steve West and Neil Duff in it, that is it more about making it through to Saturday to keep that story going? Because obviously
140.
Steve West on 5 weekly titles, Neil Duff on 6.
The Super Series El Clasico.
100.
But he may not see it
Paul, you
because Neil
require
Duff may not be
56.
there. Paul Hogan to inflict another loss upon the Duff man tonight is looking at double 9. But 2 match starts have come and gone. Neil Duff's getting chances, but now he is going to have to be more efficient with the chances he's getting. 2 in hand at double 8. And when his back's against the wall, he finds something and takes us the distance. And you're perfectly right. It's a game that goes all the way.
7th and final leg. It's Paul to throw first. Game on.
The one thing I will say about Neil Duff is he's a player that often finds a way.
60.
Scraped into Group B by just a solitary leg at the expense of Johnny Haynes, who went crashing out of Group C this afternoon. And he may have to do something similar here to get through to finals night.
I was there at the lakeside when Neil Duff
140.
trailed Jim McEwen by 3 sets to 1. He looked like he was on his way out of Frimley Green and back to Northern Ireland. So much so, Richard Ashdown was to the side of the stage. And at Lakeside, when the MC comes on, they call them Dr. Death because they think the game's over. So Neil Duff would win 3 sets in a row, win that match and
60.
win the tournament. His ability to wriggle his way out of sticky situations has been a hallmark of his career.
Yeah, and you feel he's going to need them all.
140.
I think at this stage he'd settle for a 140. He is first down to a finish, but Paul Hogan with a chance to leave something much more attainable.
105. Neil, you require
125 leaves Hogan on 96. This would be some way to keep his campaign alive. The bullseye for 161. And that is why you should never write that man off. Just when his back was against the wall, he has found a 161 to save his skin, to win that match and to keep his hopes of qualifying alive. Well, that was a superb comeback from Neil Duff because at 3-2 down, he looked up against it. He took out the 76 the leg before and he's wrapped that game up with a 161. Neil Duff, take a bow. This man never knows when he's beaten. Taking out a 1-6-1 in the last leg decided. He trolled 3-2. Two big back-to-back finishes. It was a 76 after Hogan had missed an opportunity. And then the 1-6-1 in the decider to get the job done. He moves himself on to 6 points and puts himself very much in the picture. He's now going to hope that Hogan does him a favour against Benito van der Pas in Game 9. But before that, we're going to watch Carl Wilkinson against Simon Stevenson. This is Game 8 of our evening's action. 3 more games to go. And for Simon, this is going to be his last game of the night. Not mathematically through as of yet. And in fact, if he loses this game, and Benito and Neil Duff win their last ones, because of the legs difference gap, he could find himself potentially in 4th position come the end of play tonight. And he may well be departing here for the final time this week.
First leg, it's Carl to throw first.
Well, actually,
game on.
if you look at the way the fixtures have gone, if this does become a win for Carl Wilkinson will
36.
face off against Neil Duff in that last match, which means one of them will be guaranteed to be on 8 points. Now, Stevenson's on -2 at the moment. Neil Duff's already on -2. Carl Wilkinson is on -4. I think, and I might well be wrong, but I think this is almost must win for Stevenson to guarantee that second spot. Almost.
Because effectively, the legs difference would mean
42.
that to a certain extent, Duff and Wilkinson would be a straight shootout, wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
basically. Obviously, that would still mean that Van der Pas would have to win to put himself on 8 points as well. But getting to that point that
100.
it's your last game, you want to sign off with a win. And you have to say for Simon Stevenson, he has been one of the standout performers of the evening. It took 105 average from Benito van der Pas to
43.
get the better of him.
$60.
Well, Stevenson off to the strongest start against the throw. Has wrestled that away from Carl Wilkinson after 3 visits to the board apiece.
96.
And it's the same argument I've had with regards to Carl Wilkinson all evening, that the start of matches is just not quick enough. He does play himself into a bit of form, and we
60.
saw that in the opener where he beat Van der Pas, but needs to make a stronger start, because someone like Stevenson, if he gets his nose in front, he is proven to be really hard to reel back in.
80.
By the way, he's going to have to sharpen up
Simon,
on ahead
you
of the Six
require
Nations, because that
145.
format, you only play one leg and you're back off again.
Yeah, that's a really brutal format.
60.
How good was Tom Sykes at that last year? Best one-leg player in the world
81.
over that particular format.
Simon, you require 85.
Ball for Stevenson.
55. Carl, you require 123.
Is this leg as easy as 1, 2, 3 for Wilkie? Treble 18 for the bull. Unable to get, so Stevenson will look at double 15 to break the throw and to open up his
55.
account.
Simon, you require 30.
$10 for double
Game
10. It's a
shot
good
in the
switch
first
for
leg.
Stevenson.
Simon Stevenson.
A split and a hit, and Stevenson 1-0
Second leg,
to the
Simon
good.
to throw first. Game on.
I also wonder what the reaction would have been from these two in the practice room when Duff took out that 1-6-1 to win that
100.
game against Paul Hogan.
I imagine all three of them, in terms of being a bit of a, well, especially the chasing
100.
two, they would have been absolutely astounded. But you have to applaud good darts, especially under that kind of pressure.
100.
Yeah, showed some minerals, that did.
$125.
We did mention in that previous game, that match he had against Jimmy Curran at the lakeside. Okay, that's a longer format, but he was in a similar position where his back was against the wall and still managed to conjure up a way. He'll play Carl Wilkinson in game 10. Wilkie will be hoping that he's in some kind of contention by that point.
$60. Carl, you require 152. $140.
Good visit, good setup for when he returns. And as it stands, a loss for Wilkinson doesn't necessarily rule him out completely.
100.
He would still have
Carl,
a
you
chance to
require
put himself
12.
on 6 points. But then we're looking at leg difference.
$6.
How big a miss could that be for Wilkie?
Simon, you require 82.
Should be the one dart. It is at tops, just about found the 17, but Wilkinson
Game
nodding
shot and the
in the
second
background.
leg.
He thought that was
Simon
going to go.
Stevenson.
He was right.
Third leg, it's Carl to throw first. Game on.
2-0 up. Halfway towards getting the job done.
99.
Made harder work of it than perhaps he would have wanted to, particularly the way he got out the gate. 2 good wins, 101 average against Neil Duff, and then backed that up by beating Paul Hogan
60.
by 4 legs to 3. And to be fair, there wasn't really much he could have done in his match against Benito van der Pas. He was just on the other end of an onslaught from
97.
Big Ben, averaging 105.64 against him.
Yeah, and I was just having a look over his stats from yesterday because quite often some of the damage is done in day one. But the 2 matches he lost, he was averaging in excess of 90. The finishing was pretty decent, especially in his loss against Paul Hogan. So hasn't done a great deal wrong. It's just the nature of this group.
I get the sense this has been a group which has been more about what people have done right as opposed to what others have done wrong.
100. $100.
That is the perfect first start for Simon Stevenson. But the second one, well, that's a bit more awkward.
105. Carl, you require 105.
105 for Wilkie. Needs just the one treble or 25 tops. There's the first double top. There, oh, just underneath.
85. Simon, you require 136.
Oh, you can tell we've gone past midnight, Henry.
96.
I thought for a second it was in.
Carly required 20.
Well, the double 10's definitely in. It's
Carl
back
Wilkinson.
to 2-1. I think John Park might have a rival.
Oh, I remember when Party
Simon
did that
to
as
throw
well.
First.
I want to
Game
try
on.
and reproduce the sound. It was like...
It was the Joe Cullen game. It was against Van Gerwen. The ball!
60.
Oh.
140.
More delirium as we head into Saturday morning. And not too long to wait to find out who will be joining us later on this evening. All the action live and free on Pluto TV, kicking off
41.
at 7:30 Saturday evening.
Life is about enjoyment, and darts is about enjoyment.
Oh, I found that really funny, if I'm honest.
140.
I enjoyed it a lot. We can add it to that soundtrack that we were talking about random darts noises. That can be the Henry Deacon.
Yeah, I get the sense that might
125.
get clipped up.
$60. 100.
Well, not for the first time in this match.
Carly
Wilkinson in a good position in a leg where Simon Stevenson has thrown first. The 161 back on. Oh, not now.
93. Simon, you require 145.
Well, this for 3-1. Can't be done now. And so Wilkinson returning for 68 to level up at 2-2.
$105. Carly requires 68.
Pounds of 25 to leave himself on double top if he returns. Because Wilkie's looking at double 4.
Game shot.
No
on the
mistake
fourth
about
leg.
that.
Carl
Putting
Wilkinson.
data. Desmondo 2-2. And a
Fifth leg,
big
it's Carl
passage in
to throw
play
first.
awaits us.
Game on.
Wilkinson is hanging on by his fingernails, the very tip of his fingernails.
Yeah, and there's an argument, really, isn't there, that he
59.
could have actually been 3-1 up. He missed 3 darts at double 6 to break the Stevenson throw, but we are back on track.
60.
I did mention earlier on
59.
that everything will be kicking off at 7:30 live on Pluto TV, but there is the opportunity as well, Henry, to be here. You just scan that QR code. There are tickets available for finals night,
100.
which is just in a few hours' time. 7:30 p.m. here. Definitely recommend it. If you've never been before, honestly, it is such a great evening.
82.
The Cathedral of World Darts. And if you're lucky, you might be able to get some signatures with some famous names.
140.
If you're unlucky, you might see me in a corridor.
Sounds ominous, if I'm honest. Just lurking round corners, Henry.
96.
Just camping out overnight.
Honestly, we're here so often that I sometimes think that should be an option.
I'll be honest, I'm surprised we're not being told to pay rent.
100.
We're here that often.
$130. Simon, you require 101.
Well, this for a break straight back for Simon Stevenson. The perfect start, 1 for tops.
81. Carl, you
No, I
require
was saying
75.
about Wilkie holding on. He's getting an opportunity, but it's an opportunity he's going to have to take. They're becoming few and far between.
55.
That's a chance that goes a-begging.
Simon, you require 20.
Simon Stevenson rarely needs a second invitation. But double 5, not a given. You can see that just bent the wire down.
10.
Shake of the head, but
Carl, you
you
require
can just get the
20.
sense that things are just getting edgy with these players.
2 Teds. Perfect guide. Now it's awkward.
Game
Now that's
shot
in.
on the fifth
Wilkie
leg.
leads
Carl
3-2.
Wilkinson.
He's 1 leg away. He is hanging on. And that man in your
Sixth
picture
leg,
there,
it's
Simon
to throw
Stevenson,
first. Game on.
who won his first 2 matches tonight, is suddenly the man who finds himself on the precipice.
60. $81.
When we get to this position in a group, it can go one of 2 ways. It can bring out the very best in players, or it can allow players to have those nerves just overtake them. As soon as you get that
100.
tension in your arm, then you can see some wayward throws, wayward shots.
95.
Particularly for someone like Carl Wilkinson, what are we now? 12:30 at night. But he's only at the halfway point of his evening. And at a pivotal juncture in his group, he's going to have to summon
140.
some of his best darts when he's probably hitting a bit of a wall because of the time of night he's playing at. He was here around about 8 o'clock this evening preparing like the others.
46.
But he's got the long shift tonight.
65.
Simon Stevenson on track to level things up.
100.
And yeah,
Simon, you require 136.
that look from Wilkinson is all knowing because he's got 6 starts from here.
96.
Well, tops left to take us all the way.
$59. Simon, you require 40.
There was a wobble on the doubles from Stevenson in the previous leg. And that should be a good guide. And he uses it beautifully.
Game short and the 6th leg. Simon Stevenson.
And so we head to a last leg decider for the second time in as many games.
7th and final leg. It's
Stevenson
Carl
wins
to
the
throw
leg. He's
first.
into tomorrow
Game
night.
on.
Loses it. He finds himself in a vulnerable position.
83.
What can Wilkie summon?
You would have expected more after that first start, but Stevenson back in the red bit himself.
100.
Finds a square time, pretty much as you were, really.
$77.
Rescues the throw with a treble 19. Just keeps his nose in front.
43.
Feels like a chess match where the only piece that's being used is pawns.
81.
Just slowly moving one piece at a time. But no one's been able to get to that king and queen, that king or queen maker moment.
60.
An opportunity here for Wilkinson to open up a gap to make sure he's on a finish. Needs to keep straight.
140.
And for a lot of this game, it's felt like Carl Wilkinson has just been hanging on. But it's Simon Stevenson now who's
45.
under
Carl, you
quite a
require
bit of pressure.
120.
It's very conceivable that Simon Stevenson now doesn't qualify. After this leg, he can do no more. He has played his allotted
88.
8 matches. And Carl Wilkinson has left himself here on double 16 to win this match in the last leg decider.
140. Carl, you require
At
32.
times, he was on the back foot. But Wilkinson has put his opponent to the sword. Is he going to put him away? Knows the
16.
answer.
3
Simon, you
match-winning
require
opportunities for
113.
Wilkinson wasted. Up steps Stevenson. Cannot find the treble 19. Does not get a dart at a double.
81. Carl, you
And
require
so Wilkinson
16.
here looking at double 8 to win this game by 4 legs to 3. To keep himself
Game,
in
shot, and the
contention.
match.
And for
Carl
Simon Stevenson,
Wilkinson.
it's going to be a nervous wait at the end. He will finish on 8 points. Wilkinson will move on to 6 points alongside Neil Duff and Benito van der Pas. Wilkinson plays Neil Duff in game number 10. It could well be a straight shootout depending on what happens next when Benito van der Pas plays Paul Hogan.
He needs the bullseye. Oh, my word! How has he done that? Tops. What a start!
From 3-0 down, he now has 2 darts. Only needs 1.
Double 4.
And it's Scarborough's supremacy here at the Modus Super Series, and that's how much it means to Graham Usher.
And this time it is taken. Richie McKee of Northern Ireland.
He could be stopped.
And
that's how.
Oh, that's a big break. That's a big finish.
Because he's already hit the big fish once tonight.
Yep, that's what we got when we come to Monday. That's Group A, Aidan Kerr, Kemi Coates and Graham Usher. Amongst the players in the mix, Simon Whitlock and Colin Osborne in Group B, with Richard McKee in Group C. So we head into our final couple of games of the evening, and things are rather tight as far as Group B is concerned. Paul Hogan through. Now, Simon Stevenson, if Benito van der Pas wins this game, will be out. And that is because of his legs difference on -3. Neil Duff and Carl Wilkinson would then play in effectively a straight shootout in Game 10 to see who would join Hoagie and Benito. A win for Paul Hogan, well then the waters get a little bit muddier in that regard, because again it would be a situation where Duff and Wilkinson would go head to head in Game 10 and they would guarantee of their place through. So effectively, whatever happens, Game 10 between Neil Duff and Benito van der Pas will be Neil Duff and Carl Wilkinson will be a straight shootout to see who goes through, which will probably be easier for both of those players. I'm sure they'll be working that out in the practice room. As for Benito, he'll be hoping it's not finito for him when he takes on Paul Hogan. Win and he's through, loses and he's out. That is the perilous position he's in.
And I just wonder if Benito van der Pas has been saving his best till the very last, because his last couple of outings have been very good indeed. He has had a couple of games break since beating Simon Stevenson 4 legs to 1 with that 105 average. A win that we've just discovered will possibly prove decisive because of that leg difference for Simon Stevenson.
It's
but
Benito to throw
all very
first.
much dependent
Game
on this game.
$59. $125.
Well, Paul Hogan, it only took a couple of matches for him to
93.
confirm his place into the finals, which will happen later on today. Got that 4 win over Carl Wilkinson to guarantee his
140.
spot, but did lose his last match to Neil Duff 4 legs to 1 with that magnificent 161 from Duff in the deciding leg.
96.
Yeah, that really was a thing of beauty. Duff really did have his back against the wall in that before finding, yes, the 161 to win the match, but that 76 before was very important
82.
because Hogan was very much hot on his coattails there. And it is Hoagie who leads 154, shall I say, to
96.
take out the opening
Paul, you
leg.
require 154.
Triple A team unable to get.
80.
Oh, it's a
Benito,
figure
you
out
require
for
157.
Van der Pas. Started at the bottom of the board.
97.
Well,
Paul,
that
you
could have
require
ended up a bit
74.
worse for him.
Game shot in the first leg. Paul Hogan.
A handy enough start for Hogan. 15-dart break to lead 1-0.
Second leg, it's Paul to throw first.
Paul
Game
Hogan
on.
now, his last match, and he just looks very relaxed indeed. He's been the most dangerous player of Group B.
140.
And we'll be back tomorrow night to try and make it weekly win number 3 and to add his name to an illustrious list of players that have done that. Graham Usher, Matt Clark, Reece Robinson and Chaz Barstow.
81. $180.
That has been one thing in the arsenal of Van der Pass. That 180 hitting, gets that first dart right, gets the rhythm right.
81.
And the other 2 darts follow, and it's the first one of this match.
$77.
Hogan got the break in the opener and now really looking to assert his authority. 79 remaining.
113
to leave himself double top when he came back.
$43. Paul, you require 75.
Double top for 2-0.
55. Benito, you require
Particular
142.
target hasn't really given Hoagie the kind of joy he would have wanted tonight. Double 10 is going to be a
83.
fruitful friend.
Paul, you require 20.
Well, it obviously felt good as it left the hand of Paul Hogan. He thought it was in, but now to the north of the board, it's double 5.
10.
And that may have
Benito,
just put him off his
59.
rhythm slightly.
Double top.
Game shot. And
Nestles
the second leg.
away through
Benito
and we
Van
are
der
back
Pass.
on level terms. 1-1.
Thought you were just going into the start
Third
of
leg,
like
it's
night
Benito
boat to
to throw
Cairo. You know
first.
that.
Game on.
Well, it would be the right time to do that, although doesn't it just go noon
180.
on the pontoon on the banks of the River Nile?
I don't know. It's called night boat to Cairo, and that noise you just made sounded like the horn of the boat.
95.
Another one for the little
134.
Henry Deacon list of random darting noises.
Yes, available on all good and bad app stores this Christmas.
I think it could be also
95.
the resurgence of ticketing news.
Oh, yes. That was an all-time classic.
It
That was.
was.
You just had to be there
139.
to experience ticketing news. Potential 11 darter here for Benito Van der Pass to
Benito,
put
you
himself
require
2-1 to the
48.
good. And to put him halfway towards tomorrow night. Got serious darts game going on here. But
32.
Benito has missed a couple of darts. It's not going to make too much of a difference now.
$139. Benito, you require 16.
Well,
Game shot.
Paul
and the
Hogan
third
might have been
leg.
flapping his arms,
Benito
but there is
Van
no
der
flapping from
Pass.
Van der Pass. And that is a 13 dart hold of throat.
Fourth leg, it's Paul to throw first. Game on. $70. $96.
Good pick up for the last. Always do find these matchups intriguing when you've got a player in Benito for
140.
whom it's all or nothing this game, up against someone in Paul Hogan who's very safe in the knowledge that he's qualified through to tomorrow night's final.
100.
Yeah, but Paul Hogan, he's going up there, still
140.
battling away, trying to win every single match. But there is sometimes that natural adrenaline that once you know you're safe, you can't manufacture that.
131. Paul, you require 151.
Can't replicate the intensity sometimes when the necessity isn't there.
91.
But Hogan looking good to level things up at 2-all.
57. Paul, you require 60.
However, averaging about a ton here is Hogan.
Game shot and the fourth
And
leg.
he's back
Paul
on level
Hogan.
terms at 2-2 of a 14 darter.
Fifth leg, it's Benito to throw first. Game on.
Good game, this. Van der Paas.
121.
It's one of two things here. It's either potentially a couple of legs away from going through or a couple of legs away from going out.
Yeah, and I wonder, because this is not the most straightforward of tables, obviously because of the points and the legs
66.
difference, I wonder how much all the players are aware of what they need to do. I'm sure Neil Duff would have been out the back and would have worked out that it would be between Duff and Wilkinson for one of the spots.
180.
Well, it's a strange situation because I know the last game's a straight shootout, but we don't know who the other player is going to be who goes through prior to it. But usually in these sorts of
100.
situations, the other places are sorted and we're just trying to sort out who position 3 is going to be.
100.
Effectively, Paul Hogan is Simon Stevenson right now.
And it came right down to the last two matches I mentioned before last week. So to have that in 2 consecutive weeks,
100.
to go
Benito,
right
you
down to the
require
wire.
100.
Very exciting indeed. We did expect drama from this group.
52. 41. Benito, you
Plenty
require
of time
48.
on the side of Van der Paas, who's staring down 48 to go within one of the match one of a place in Saturday's finals.
32.
Has got time, will need time.
But that time will be running out.
140. Benito, you require
Double
16.
To put himself one away.
Game
One
shot
away
on the
he is.
fifth
Van der
leg.
Paas leads
Benito
by
Van der
3
Paas.
legs to 2.
Sixth leg, it's Paul to throw first. Game on.
Well, Simon Stevenson will be watching on as sick as a parrot right now.
55.
Yeah, when you're in this situation, Simon Stevenson possibly wouldn't have been too disappointed that it was Paul Hogan
96.
who was essentially fighting for his spot in the finals. But as we've said, it's just been a really solid day for Benito Van der Paas. You take that first game out of the equation and everything has been going the Dutchman's way.
And it's not as if Paul Hogan's level of performance has dipped, it hasn't. He's averaging 96, just over.
91.
Benito Van der Paas has been, to quote his fellow compatriot, doing the right things at the right times.
100.
It's a great switch.
96. 100.
Tom leaves himself on a finish after 12, but how handy can Benito leave it here? Does have the insurance policy of throwing first in the
96.
deciding leg.
Paul,
We'll be
you
hoping
require
it doesn't go that far.
146.
Yeah, horrible dart, but Paul Hogan does not like that at all.
Benito Van der Paas
Benito, you
needs
require
only one treble to then
122.
guarantee a dart at the bullseye to send himself through. That leaves double 7, and that would have sent
108.
Benito Van der Paas into tomorrow night's
Paul, you
final.
require 68.
Here's Paul Hogan about to punish the miss from Van der Paas. Double 16 for 3 apiece.
36.
And he can't find it. A real opportunity
Benito,
for Van
you
der Paas to
require
book
14.
his place.
3 in hand.
No score.
3 more missed.
Paul, you require 32.
A grand total of not just 4 match darts, but 4 darts that would have guaranteed you a spot in finals.
And now Hogan has 1 left.
No
And
score.
Hogan cannot find it, clips the wire the wrong side. Benito gets another chance.
Benito, you require 14.
His 3rd opportunity to qualify through. Double 2.
No
He's
score.
bust it. He's done a Hogan against
Paul, you
Hogan.
require 32.
Oh, tension right down to the last.
Game
And this
shot
time,
on the
Paul
6th
Hogan
leg.
does punish.
Paul
We go
Hogan.
the distance. Van der Paas does have that luxury of throwing first, but I just wonder those
7th
missed
and
match
final
darts.
leg. It's Benito
6
to
in
throw
total
first.
for
Game on.
Van der Paas. Is that going to be just playing in the back of his mind, or can he forge ahead?
97.
He has had a couple of handfuls worth of match darts now, Benito van der Paas.
60.
Very animated, isn't he, tonight, Paul Hogan?
Certainly given us the full repertoire of emotions.
58.
I reckon we could do a montage of Paul Hogan's head shaking.
81.
The many shades of Paul Hogan.
100.
I'll let you put that proposal into the old social media team.
100.
Thankfully, we're past the watershed.
And again,
86.
just rescues the throw, picks off the treble 19, makes sure he is on a finish when he returns. We saw an absolute skin saver from
100.
Neil Duff
Benito,
at
you
161.
require
Benito van der
160.
Paas now looking at 160.
Another to send himself through.
Game
Benito van
shot.
der Paas
And
is
the
into
match.
Saturday night.
Benito van
And
der
he
Paas.
has done it in sumptuous style. What a story this could be. He has played next to no competitive darts for over 3 years. Back at the Live Lounge, and he has qualified for Saturday night at the expense of Simon Stevenson. Well, that was a rip-roar of a finish. Our last game between Neil Duff and Carl Wilkinson is a straight shooter to see who joins Paul Hogan and Benito van der Paas into Saturday night's final. Well, this was some way to seal it for Benito van der Pas. 160 checkout to qualify himself through to tomorrow night's final. What a story this could become for Big Ben. Back after 3 years away from the Super Series, away from competitive action pretty much for the last 3 years. But he is in to tomorrow night's final. So we know 2 of them. This last game will determine who will join Hogan and van der Pas. Now, Simon Stevenson, he's 3rd in the league table now, but he will not become the end of this match. As you can see, Duff v Wilkinson is a knockout game. Probably easier for both players, the fact that it is winner stays in, loser goes home. Neil Duff so adept to these situations. Carl Wilkinson, the England captain, will know what it's like to go into bat in big games. And I just wonder what gives in this last match.
Yeah, the one thing that I do not expect from this match is a repeat in terms of the standard that we saw from Carl Wilkinson yesterday. It was a 4-0 defeat at the hands of Neil Duff, but really didn't hit the ground running in Group B, but has done well to negotiate a position.
First leg, it's Neil to throw first.
The opportunity to make it through to the finals. Neil Duff, I wonder how he's actually thinking and feeling, because I imagine there's an
60.
Element of frustration for Neil Duff that he finds himself in this position, but then there's also that bit of relief that he at least has the chance to book his spot. He said
45.
To you at the beginning of the night, his target was 2 matches. He thought that would be enough. Well, it proves he's right. He's won 1 tonight. He needs to win 1 more. But I just wonder what the England captain has got left
45.
up his sleeve.
Yeah, this has been such a strange night for Neil Duff because he hasn't played poorly. He has found himself on the receiving end of a couple of decent performances. The 101 of Simon Stevenson to start. The 91 of Benito van der Pas in game 2. Paul Hogan himself, even losing to Neil, averaged just under the 92 mark.
And you have to say, in both these players' previous matches, there were some real heroics in the last legs. Neil Duff winning 4-3 over Paul Hogan. That 161 checkout. Carl Wilkinson edging out Simon Stevenson by the same scoreline.
140.
Well, Duff first to a finish.
I mean, this could come down to something as simple as just who has got the advantage of throw.
180.
Feels like one of those games where they're just going to follow each other all the way, potentially to the line. Duff just wide of the treble 19, so Wilkinson's going to get first opportunity, you feel, at the outer ring.
And he really should guarantee at least one dart at a double from this position.
These situations where you've just got to keep things simple.
56. Neil, you require 58.
Tops for Duff.
Game short on the first leg.
Nicely taken.
Neil Duff.
First blood, Neil Duff.
Second leg, it's Carl to throw first.
Wilkie hasn't won a leg against Neil this week. It was a 4-0 success for the Duff man in the opening match of the group.
118.
Got to give Carlson credit the way he's rallied tonight to get himself in a position to potentially qualify. Benito van der Pas was also on 2 points come the beginning of the night's play. But is it going to be a case of too little, too late for the Yorkshireman who
82.
picked up his first weekly title a couple of series ago?
$140.
Yeah, I remember that. I think he won in week 1, didn't he? He had that very long wait in order to come back to Champions Week. Well, will he get the opportunity to pick up a win in week 2?
28.
Starts like that will not help.
Yeah, beat Brian Roman in the final of that particular week.
$100.
Shake of the head from Wilkinson, who already early on in this match
26.
is a bit on the back foot.
Neil, you require 121.
Neil Duff is just beginning to put his foot on the accelerator, and if Carl Wilkinson's not careful,
67.
he could find himself with a big margin to make up.
$59.
Could
Nearly
get this
require
against the
54.
throat for the Duff man. 6 and 54. Could get it wrapped up in 5 visits. You get it done in 6 if he so wants.
Game short.
The
And the
15
second
darter,
leg.
2-0 it is. 32 darts to put him halfway towards qualification again.
Third leg, it's Neil to throw first. Game on.
I'm not sure there's many players when
41.
drafted into these situations that you'd back more to come out the other side successfully than Neil Duff. He's, as we mentioned, been here, done it, worn the T-shirt so
99.
many times, but I think one of the things that stands him out from the rest is when you get him into these pressurised situations, it's seemingly where he thrives.
42.
It's like we said, he always just seems to find a way. Ultimately, these groups, whether you sail through them or you get through by the skin of your teeth, they are just a means
48.
of qualification. It is all about the finals.
Well, I know Chris Murphy speaks about it, doesn't he? That for players like Neil Duff, this is almost like qualification weeks. And that this is just to get themselves into Champions Week because that's where they
96.
feel like they deserve and belong.
Yeah, when you do consider the amount of weekly titles that Neil Duff has picked up, but yet to pick up a Champions Week title, he's desperate to get his
79.
face on that wall of honour that we've got here at the Live Lounge.
Well, the local hotels around here are expecting the reservations of Neil Duff and Derek Coulson every Champions Week now.
140.
Well, that's a good visit from Carl Wilkinson, who will get an opportunity to see off the 118.
94.
Have you got Duff's number?
Carl, you require 118.
To turn over another page. Well, he needs to find a treble off the yellow pages, you feel.
22.
And that really is a
Nearly
kind of
require
head-in-hands
120.
moment for Carl Wilkinson, who had a couple of good visits, but only 22 points. Duff looking to climb the ladder for a 120 finish.
80.
Well, he found a pivotal
Carl, you
161
require
against Paul
96.
Hogan. He cannot find another big one there. And so Wilkinson, looking at double 18.
Game short and the third
That's
leg.
so
Carl
classy.
Wilkinson.
Because he knew if that didn't go, he'd be 3-0 down. He's brought the game back on throw at 2-1 and has
Fourth
the
leg,
darts
it's
in
Carl
his
to throw
hand
first.
to send
Game
us
on.
back level.
Interesting option to switch on the second dart, 'cause I thought that first dart actually looked really inviting for Carl Wilkinson. So maybe just trying something different.
100.
Maybe it was as simple as he didn't actually quite like the light.
$99. $140.
Well, they say pivotal passage in play. Duff went 2-0 to the good. Wilkinson took out the 96 and now looking to send this game into a
58.
best-of-3 shootout. But a failure to find a big treble there has opened up the door for Neil Duff to find that break again, in which, if he does, would have this game in the palm of his hands
100.
because he'd have the darts in the next to send himself through.
And look what he's left. That 161 has featured a lot in Group B. Wilkinson hit it yesterday. Duff hit it
95.
to beat Paul
Nearly
Hogan
require 161.
just a few games ago. And it's on again. It's on again. It's ball for a 161.
136. Carl, you require 113.
Carl Wilkinson's heart would have been in his mouth right there. But he has to take out a ton topper of his own. The 113 will not oblige.
53.
And so Duff, for a
Nearly
3-1
require
lead and to put
25.
himself a leg away. Double 8 for a cushion.
17.
And now Wilkinson has a chance to
Carly
send this to a
requires
best
60.
of 3.
I don't think Wilkinson would have expected to return to the oche. 1 dart left, it's tops the
40.
target, drops low.
Neil, you require
He's had
8.
his chance. One left to double 2.
4.
He knows he's had chances
Carl,
to
you
have this
require
game
20.
exactly where he wants it. He has gift-wrapped this opportunity for Carl Wilkinson to level up at 2 apiece.
So close to the wire, it's forcing him to edge along the oche. Goes back to the original position for double 5.
10.
Bends the wire. But in these situations, a miss is as
Neil,
good as
you
a mile.
require 4. Game
And Neil
shot
Duff
on the
makes
4th
no
leg.
mistake on that
Neil
double
Duff.
2. He leads 3-1. Has the darts to send himself through to Saturday night. It's been hard work.
5th leg, it's Neil
But
to
the
throw
6th
first.
time
Game
weekly
on.
winner is on the hill again.
$45.
Wilkinson's had to wait a while to finish his group.
100.
Played in game 8. Played now in the very last game. What has he got left? Because he's going to have to dig deep to try and get back on and
60.
level par with Neil Duff.
Well, that's an opening. That is an opening for Wilkie, and he has to hit a 2-treble score. Has to find 8-treble now.
45.
He's let Neil off the hook.
You see that a few times from Wilkinson with that last start, just that overreach, just gets the release wrong.
Is he potentially trying too hard here?
Yeah, he's just, especially where, I think it's sometimes where the darts and the board have
100.
landed, the first 2, that he feels he has to try and force that last dart through, and it just changes the action.
58.
Just 2 points between them.
100.
And now Neil Duff may begin to sense Saturday night is in his reach. There's probably a point in this evening he thought that
66.
maybe he was heading for home, and that this time was going to be an unsuccessful trip. But he's 196 points away from returning to a night he knows all too well.
Well, arguably you could say
60.
just as some of the results have gone his way, he had to beat Paul Hogan, but that win that Wilkinson got over Stevenson allowed this to be the last match playoff.
140. Nearly require
Well,
136.
Wilkie's left himself on a 2-darter, but Neil Duff is looking at 136 to send himself through, but couldn't find the second treble.
No, 65 scored. Reaches 71. 104.
But tidies it up very
Carl, you
nicely.
require 92.
There was pressure earlier on Wilkinson where he had to convert 96. This has to go.
It doesn't,
56.
and so Neil Duff comes back to qualify through.
Nearly require 32.
The 161 against Paul Hogan gave him an opportunity to play in a straight
Game,
shootout.
shot,
And Neil
and the
Duff has
match.
won that
Neil
straight
Duff.
shootout and has qualified for Saturday night. It wasn't as routine as it usually is for the Duff man, but in is in. And there probably was a point this evening where, when he lost his first 2 games, that maybe he was heading for home. That maybe this time it wasn't to be at the Live Lounge. But he has rallied, and he has rallied well. He beats Carl Wilkinson by 4 legs to 1, and he is into tomorrow night's final by the skin of his teeth. Well, this is what we've seen on this Friday night in Group B. It's a dramatic affair. Paul Hogan, well, he got the job done with relative ease in the end for the last couple of matches. The drama really did go up a notch. Simon Stevenson missing out. Benito van der Pas with that 160 to get the better of Paul Hogan meant that he went through. And our final game was a straight shootout between Neil Duff and Carl Wilkinson, in which Neil Duff got the better of Wilkie by 4-1, and this is how the table ends up. Paul Hogan at the top of the pile. Neil Duff finished in second, Benito van der Pas in third place. Simon Stevenson and Carl Wilkinson both heading for home. Well, Neil won that last game decided before the break against Carl Wilkinson, and he joins myself and Laura Turner here in the studio. I tell you what, you do like to give us a bit of drama, don't you?
Yeah, but that's the all-round entertainment, you know, give the crowd what they want. No, I didn't want to do it like this tonight. I really, really didn't. I wanted to get it done early and just got off to a bad start and didn't get any better. And yeah, the 161 against Paul just about kept me in it, skin of my teeth, and then finished the job off there. So yeah, another Saturday night.
You've had a lot of clutch moments in Ukraine. You've had a lot of clutch moments here, but where does that 161 against Hogan compare?
Yeah, considering I couldn't have strung 3 darts together pretty much the whole match. To stay in it, the 3 each was in itself was pretty good. But to take the 161, yeah, after Paul battered me last night, so I did actually say to you in an interview earlier.
You targeted that game, didn't you?
I fancied him, yeah. That was the one that I kind of had earmarked, and I kind of thought Benito or Wilkie, get 2 points off them there and pretty much through. But it's definitely one of the tightest groups I ever played in, where we're actually all still sitting then 4 people in the last 2 matches could have went through, you know. And lucky enough for myself and Benito went through, and kind of feel a wee bit for Carl, feel a bit for Simon too. He sat and watched all that unfold. He went from second. But it's every man for himself in this game, you know. Yeah, they'll get an hour crack at it.
Great champions find a way, Laura, don't they?
Yeah, we did say that actually. There was a point where, especially after losing those opening 2 matches, we were like, oh, you know, it doesn't seem it doesn't seem realistic that you won't make it through to the finals night because you've been in it so many times. But was there a point at all where you were thinking, right, I am in a bit of trouble here?
Yeah, kind of after the second match, when I lost my second match, I was kind of already thinking, can I get my flight changed to tomorrow? Don't want to be hanging about, and really didn't even want to be on the stage at points, you know. But yeah, but then the match with Paul gave me a bit of hope, and then I actually kind of said to Carl, the last match there, who do you want to be playing for a knockout match? Do you want to be playing a 6 times Modus champion? You know, and in fairness, I would rather have played any other player in the group in the last match shootout. Carl's a great lad, good fella. But yeah, it was squeaky bum time, and it did cross my mind that there's not too many times I've actually come down here and not made Saturday night, and I don't want to start making a habit of it now.
In terms of that game against Carl, it felt like leg 4 was massive. He had opportunities to make it 2-2. You go through and up, and that kind of knocked the stuffing out of him.
I was aware that he wasn't firing. He wasn't firing on all cylinders. My scoring probably was one of my best scoring games of the night, which I knew I had to. I kind of thought, the first 3 darts, I thought, it's going to be a nervy one, and it'll just be someone falling over the line. But yeah, he didn't really. I was expecting the big scores to come in, and they didn't come. So I had to do what I had to do, and thankfully I came out the other end.
You kind of mentioned you don't feel like you're fully there yet. So where do you feel like you are at in terms of your game at this specific moment in time?
At this specific moment in time, I feel like tonight I played like I did on Monday. The darts didn't feel good in my hand. I thought luck was not on my side. Tuesday, Wednesday I played what you expect from Neil Duff down here. I'll spend a wee bit of time on that tomorrow and get it right for tomorrow night. And you know yourself, I'm a bit of a beast when it comes to Saturday night having a crowd in. So yeah, I'll be looking to put on a show.
Well, we'll have another little chat with you in just a second, but it wasn't just the 161 that was a highlight tonight. We saw Benito van der Pas at that 160 against Paul Hogan to qualify himself. What a story that's become this week.
Oh, hasn't it just? Yeah, we mentioned the big moments and this 160. Kind of, I'm not saying it came from nowhere, because actually I think we've seen the very best from Benito tonight. Highest average of the entire week. He strung together consecutive wins, played himself into a position, and actually was the second player to qualify. So it could have gone either way, but like you say, big moments. Who knows how he gets on tomorrow? It's going to be day number 6 for him. 6 consecutive days of playing, possibly something he's not used to doing for quite some time. But if today's anything to go by, he's definitely going to be a bit of a threat.
As the Paul Hogan damage was done last night, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, he needed one win because everyone had points on there. He knew he only needed that one solitary win. But again, I imagine he was having questions after losing that first match. You could see him living every dart. But what I liked from Paul as well, he never relented. Even after he qualified, he looked like he wanted to win absolutely everything. Didn't go through the card, obviously, but more than enough to win.
So he's through to tomorrow night's final. This is how it looks. These are the groups that are in play. And I'll tell you what I love about this finals night lineup, Laura, is you look at all 6 players that are in there. Everybody will give a little bit of gush. This could be a bit of fun tomorrow, couldn't it?
It's definitely going to be a bit of fun. Ultimately, we've already got a narrative in Group 1 with regards to Steve Weston. Neil sat here, you know, is Neil going to win his 7th, or is Steve going to make it 6th? I know what you're thinking, Neil, so don't worry. But yeah, 2 really interesting groups, and I can't wait to see it unfold.
Kevin Edwards is going to really enjoy being the 3rd wheel in that group, isn't he?
It probably will feel like a bit of a 3rd wheel just because of the 11 titles between them. But hey, Kevin produced some good stuff as well earlier on this afternoon.
You're making a habit of winning again. If you win this week, it'd be a 3rd consecutive Champions Week for yourself. It'd be title number 7 again. You put yourself another couple clear of your old adversary.
We're going to need a bigger table.
I was going to say, we did a conversation yesterday, which was on Pluto TV, and we pretty much filled it. But look, for you, we've spoken about this in the past. For you, you almost try and treat these as qualifying weeks because there's one thing at the end of the rainbow that you want more than anything else.
That's exactly what they are. They're qualifying weeks. You can't hit the big one until you qualify through. So yeah, that's exactly how I come in looking for it. I didn't prepare properly for this here, coming straight from Denmark on Sunday night, but we've always talked about it, that it's not about the travel, it's about the destination, and it's get Saturday night, then you just see 6 individuals going there and slugging it out, and yeah, come on Westy.
Right. Many congratulations, Neil. We shall see you tomorrow night, Laura. We shall see you tomorrow night as well. Plenty coming up across Pluto TV between now and then. Coming up next, it's the Murph Meat Series, and he is going to be catching up with the 2-time world champion, Adrian Jackpot Lewis. That's coming up in a few moments' time. Then we've got the Tungsten Talk. That is with the 2-time world seniors champion, Robert Thornton, talking about the highs and lows of his 2-decade-long career. So that's in preparation for tomorrow night's finals, which is going to see Paul Hogan in action. We're going to see El Clasico renewed between Messrs West and Duff. You must be sick of us talking about that. That is from 7:30 tomorrow evening, and we've got a star of the future in week 3 on Monday morning. He was literally the rising star, Henry Coates, in August last year. He gets his campaign up and running. He was a weekly finalist in the previous series. He is looking to go one better this time. The action underway Monday morning from 9:30 a.m. But as far as week 2 is concerned, we've got the 6 players confirmed. It's been a late night, hasn't it? Neil Duff is back in finals night, but it was etchy-sketchy for a long time. We'll see you tomorrow from 7:30 p.m. Take care. Bye-bye from us.
The new Modus Super Series champion.
Oh my word!
It's another incredible moment tonight.
Jeff Smith.
It's match start.
5-star performance.
Ball for big fish.
It's
Jack Drayton.
He will be disappointed with that. He wanted to have one dart for the match.
requires 20.
Graham Usher wins the first game of Champions Night, and it was an absolute ripper. He hit one of them on tops. He missed one on double 12. Which one is it? It's the hit.
Outside opportunity for Andy Hamilton. Van der Velde should be getting a match start again here. He's already had one. Mr. Dart at tops for the match to win 4-1. And the Dart at double 16 gets the job done there for Jorgen van der Velde. He gets over the line with a 4-2-6.
Did he go for tops, or did he just overshoot the single? Jimmy doesn't care. Jimmy just looks to eat this up to make the semi-finals for the second time. Adam Kaplas has been eliminated. Keep us guessing. This time he's trying to leave double 18. He knows best, and he takes the lead. He's 2 darts away from a Super Series final. He's 1 dart away. He doesn't need any more darts. Jeff Smith makes the Series 11 final. Is Usher losing his cool a little bit here?
Oh, absolutely. Right now, I'd say the head's gone, and you don't have long to recover. It is very, very short format darts. Vansky's halfway to victory.
He only needs 1 more. Jimmy Vansky is yet again into a Modus Super Series final.
Flashback vibes. Can Jimmy Vansky do the same? Just needs the 1 treble here on the 19s. Finds it. For the ball.
101.
Oh, unlucky. A lot of pressure on it. He's going to split it. 2 darts for double 4 for the match.
Game